Good evening. Hey Tavian, how's it going? How many Sarma ships do I have? Oh, let's have a look. Let's have a quick look. I have 37 Sarmas to go through, which is what we're kicking the stream off with. It's the last big folder apart from the Variax. I'm very excited. Let me know if the music's a bit too loud. Let's get this show on the road. I have been looking forward to this all day, and I've had a long day. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope you're all having a good time. I can't wait to see these. Oh, good, Tavian. Oh, you got some new kittens. That's amazing. I need to know what the kittens' names are ASAP. Have I had a dream with the Highfleet music? I have with, yep, I have. Tanalek has definitely invaded my dreams before. The tension stress music has hit me. For those of you who joined the stream earlier, I just hit an amazing milestone. I logged into YouTube just now to kick the stream off, and it told me I'd hit 1 million views, which is insane. I can't believe that. That is just an unreal thing. Hey, Linsurf, how's it going? Yeah, I'm just in a really good mood. This is good. Pickle and Nacho, those are great cat names. Farm Cat Offspring, oh, they'll be super sprightly. Pickle's a great cat name, I like that a lot. Congrats on the new cat, Stavian. Alright, I'm gonna get the shipworks open. We'll just give it a couple of seconds. Oh, that's great, at 48 hours. It took us like three weeks more to get our cats and our dog to get to be friends with each other. That was a lot of hard work, so getting it in 48 hours is pretty great. Do you have 5 cats now? Is that right? Do I remember right? There's Noodles, Beans. I feel like there's another cat, and I'm Nacho and Pickle. 5, yeah. That's peak cat, I think. Alright, we'll give it a couple secs, just let some people jump in, and then we will kick off. Jam, that was it. Yes. Let me just get Discord open and check how things are going there. Alright. There's some really cool stuff going on the Discord as well. Tarkan Renzus of the Corsairs has put together a Google Doc where you can put in your details of your Tarkan, and they're running fanfiction where the Tarkans from the community are showing up, which is really cool. I've already posted the first one, which I haven't read yet, but I do want to read it. I think it's an awesome thing they're doing. So check it out. I've got it pinned in the main chat channel if you want to get involved with that, because I know people like writing their lore for Highfleet. But why don't we get things kicked off here? Let me just very quickly get my lore folder open, because we have lots of lore, and I do enjoy the lore. And let's have a look at the 37 Sarmas we have to go through. And we'll just get through that. No notification from YouTube. That's annoying, T-Ram. YouTube just doesn't seem to like my channel very much. Oh well. You made it, which is good, because I haven't started yet. Let's start off. First things first. We're starting with Sarmas, Misha M. That's the first major block. And then we have the Nomads, sorry, the Variax is our other big one. But we also have a bunch of other little ships that we're going to go through next. But first of all, starting off with the AGS ship, the AGS Nomura for the Sarma. Now, I don't think I have the standard Sarma unlocked, do I? No, I don't. Let me very quickly grab the stats on the Sarma. Give me 2 seconds. Should have had that ready before the stream started. Sarma Highfleet. I think the only place I can get stats for it is on the wiki, which is out of date, unfortunately. Nope, there's not even a page for it that I can find on the wiki. Sarma Highfleet stats. All date and stats. No, I can't find stats for the Sarma, which is great. I can force unlock it. Ah, T-Ram, you're a hero. 25,310. Awesome. Let me make a quick little note of that, so I'm not having to continually scroll up. Notepad. 25. Oh, that's... Yeah, I want to hear about how that tourney went, Tavian. And 1,082 range. Cool. People in the back end, all the community stuff people are doing is unreal. I'm so in awe of the stuff you people are producing. It's so cool. It's so amazing. Right. AGS... Oh, thank you very much for subscribing, Misha M. Oops, you made me click on my Be Right Back button. I was so shocked. It was a jump. Thank you so much. Where was I? Right, okay. Lore for the AGS Nomura. I'm not sure if AGS gave me lore for it. No, the only one I've got lore for is the Onmyodo. So let's load this ship. I remember we're looking at 26,575 cash monies as the maximum price on the budget for these ships. Oh. Okay, let me get my... We're starting off strong. We're starting off strong with this spaceship. It looks like a star. 26575. Alright, let's just check the stats first of all. It is in budget. It is over the minimum range. That's correct. It has legs. Excellent. We have as a primary armament a Mark 1 180 large caliber cannon. We have 6 zeniths. We have sprints built into the superstructure, 4 of them. Are there any other guns? Yes, there's another Mark 1 180. What a start. What a hard act to follow is the what was it called again? The Nomura from AGS Systems. Absolutely no armor on this thing at all. It's got some utility. We've got 2 FCR, so it's got a track guidance of 1, a guidance of 2, so you can launch 2 sprints at a time. We have a couple of little bits of armor here, just 2 little armored hats. The bridge is just horrendously exposed. To the 2 other little bits of armor, the biggest legs the ship has ever seen. The prongs are actually really good against RPF because they cause it to detonate way too early. The bigger issue here is the completely open sides towards the bridge, but that is an AGS Systems ship I've ever seen one, and if we zoom in a little bit, you can see how heretical it is, because it wouldn't be an AGS Systems ship without a ton of heresy. So we've got thrusters on top of power generators with guns snugged into fuel cells. We've got generators here on top of armor, on top of there's so much heresy. Thrusters on top of big leg mounts. It's all here. It is indeed a glorious Romani star, as Vora says. Okay, let's have a look at what we've got next. Next we've got the Bulwark from Comrade Jello, and Comrade Jello has provided some lore for this ship. Strapot Industries is a small military company in the desert of Kiva. Our company contracted in designing, making a cheap but quick, light, and heavily armored vessel for convoy escort and defending local towns, to which we made the Sarpo. Oh, that's a different ship. The Bulwark, however, is a ship ready to brawl any invading forces in a town or city. Its concept was refitting the old Strapot design and modernizing it with the latest tech. Although it has some flaws, the raw power, it can take any hard hits. It can last longer in rough fights. Let's see how we're going. Yeah, Tacos, don't worry, I am lost in thinking deep about ship design sizes and shapes because of them. Ooh, this is really cute and very heavily... Wow, this has got the whole package. We've got tons of armor. We've got 2 Mark 1 180s with full elevation. They can shoot all the way around. We've got the 2 37mm cannon here for CWIS duties. We've got, well within budget, 25,970. Unfortunately, are we within what's the minimum range? Yeah, it's under range, which is really sad. It's not ever going to hit range, unfortunately, without some serious changing. So it's going to get that under range stamp, sadly. But it is a cool ship. I really like it. I've got it written down, mishaps, but thank you so much. 26575 and 182 kilometers. But I really appreciate you guys bringing it up. It's very vulnerable to AP, but you would... Yeah, exactly. You don't want to waste AP on it, and also it's going to eat your prox fuse for quite a long time. Except from the bottom, which is a weakness for a lot of ships like this. But that's a cool design. It's a shame that it's under range. I really like it, though. It struck me the second I loaded it. That's really cool. Okay, next up, we've got the revised Mamluk from Crillitic, maybe? Crillitic. This could be the name. I do have lore for it as well. I'm just alt-tabbing to the lore page. Created from the same design team that made the Mamluk. Okay, so this is for a different ship. This is for the Vanguard. But let's have a look at the Mamluk. Okay, within budget, 26230, and over range, it's perfect. That's really good to see. It's got the right stats. Yeah, ammo is going to blow from armor piercing. 2 AK-100s, 57mm Vermpole. We've got 2 Zeniths, which is nice to see. Under armor here, which is 2 big blocks of under armor, which is well thought out. Interestingly placed things. We've got a lot of fuel here under the armor, which is a little bit of a weakness. Do we have any APS? Yeah, it's like a smoothed out version of the last ship, isn't it? It's gone through the wind tunnel. No APS on the ship. This is a nice build. It does the Sarma's job. It's solid. It's going to take a beating. It's going to deliver a beating. It's reasonably fast at 250 kilometers per hour. Don't ignore that speed stat. It's Going to be faster than some of the other ones we see tonight, I'm pretty sure. 2 AK-100s and 57mm is a little bit light on the armament size, but what that means is it's a ship that will get ignored for a while. And with that armor, it's going to not be destroyed by, stray fire. It's going to just hang around and do a lot of damage, and it could be a very serious threat. That is the Mamluk by Crillitic. Next up, we have we have the Ardor by Cygnus. And I have some lore for that. I've got lots of lore for Cygnus ships. So just reminding everyone, Cygnus shipyards like to build... the Gathering, having recognized deficiency in their intelligence gathering and rapid response roles, has commissioned various sensor ships and medium-range strike platforms. Cygnus shipyards, always happy to accept the Gathering's money, submits its latest designs for evaluation. The Ardor is looking to replace the Sarma. The Ardor mounts a full-range IRS Mars infrared sensor, adding the ability to passive detect incoming planes or ships from up to 300 kilometers away. In combat, the Ardor is no slouch, mounting multiple AK-100s, Zeniths, decent armor, and Palash. I think getting Palash on a ship in this budget is actually really good. I think it's going to make it quite scary. Let's have a look. Oh, it's a cute little package. We've got 2 APS down here, covering both sides of the ship. We've got these really cute underslung Zenith launchers that almost look like they're custom built to launch the Zeniths. Hey, Hoshimega, how's it going? We've got 2 AK-100s, and we've got the IRST, which one is this? The IRST-1 Mars. Lots of fuel in the center of the body, but it's pretty well protected, this fuel. Not a lot of fuel tanks. Let's check the range. Range is fine. Budget is fine. 424 kilometers per hour. That's very impressive speed considering it hasn't got any side-mounted D30s. That's usually how we get those high speeds on ships. This is actually very, very nippy. This is like a Lightning with armor and passive detection and Palash. That's not bad. Very weak to fire from underneath, but they've done the best they can to protect that with these corner pieces. It looks like a flying sofa. It's a cool little ship. I quite like it. We've only got the one FSS yet. Only one fire suppression system. Excuse me for yawning. That's cool. I like the design here of these side armor panels with the corner piece. Just, it looks really cool. So that was the Ardor from Cygnus. Next up, we have the Juco Bureau of Heavy Machinery Vulture. I have something for that as well. The D30 is actually really efficient for its size and cost, if I remember right. I haven't actually done any shipbuilding in a while, but the D30 is used on all of these builds rather than the NK. The NK has more thrust, but for a higher price, whereas the D30 is a much more efficient engine. Let's have a look at what DBHM are saying about the Vulture. Artillery Vessel Vulture. So the Ducal Bureau of Heavy Machinery presents some new vessel models for the Grati Garrison. This generation of ships showcases some of the newer construction methods in the Bureau, standardized reinforced engine blocks, internal static engines, and standardized artillery pods. You missed the AGS Nomura, which was a bit insane, Night Skies, but nothing else has been too crazy. The Artillery Vessel Vulture, designed as a replacement for the Sarma, the ship retains the flat and wide profile of the Sarma, which gives it the ability to easily dodge fire coming from the sides. 2 mixed engine blocks together with 3 well-protected static engines ensure considerable mobility without exposing weak spots. 2 different artillery pods, Model 130R5 and Model 100x2, deliver enough firepower to fight both light and armored targets. The Vulture is very robust thanks to the modular design. It's demonstrating the ability to survive and be effective in combat even after large parts of the ship are destroyed. That's a cool idea for a shipbuilding philosophy. Let's have a look at the Vulture. Okay, we've got 2 Zen. Oh, I like this. So you can see the modular pods these ships are built out of. It's got 1 double AK-100 pod. We've seen this before. And then it's got the R580-130 pod, which is 1 130mm cannon and 2 R5 Zeniths in what looks like a really nice little launch tube situation. That looks really good. I like that a lot. We've got heretical internal downward thrusting engines. One of which is sticking out. There's an interesting armor situation here as well, using cut corner pieces to fit the armor in. We've got the collection of D30s and NK25s on this ship. We are within our range requirements, I believe. Let me just recheck my... Oops, that's the wrong type of alt tab. That closes everything. This will just close my lore things that I've left open, because that is going to take up a lot of room on my screen. Yeah, we're just over range, and we are just under budget, which is good to see. I like that. I like people pushing the envelope. Barely in range yet, but it has made it, which is great. Lots of firepower on here. The D80 Mullet and the AK-100, that's a scary collection with the 2 R5s, and it looks like it's got a decent amount of armor. Do we have any APS on this ship? No APS on the ship. That's the one thing it hasn't got. See for a bit, Tavian. These are cute. This is a really cute ship. I'm really interested to see how they managed to get these engines to work. Oh, I see. So they've got a corner piece up here that they're able to mount the engine in, and then it's actually put behind this piece here. And then they've got an armor piece there. That's a very interesting design. So just so people can see how they did that, this is a reinforced hull piece with the corner cut out. And this is a triangle piece. And the triangle piece goes here. The reinforced hull piece goes above it, so they're slotted together, and then you can place the engine up here, and that gets you the full, the engine is somehow able to use its full thrust even though it's behind there. Yeah, I think you're right, T-Rem. This was probably all armored up to begin with, and they've had to remove places to get the price down, which they'd be able to be quite tight on that price as well because of that. Cool little ship. Alright, next up we've got the Snowball Mark II from Ensign Foil, and Ensign Foil ships I think are pretty popular on my streams. Featuring a less durable but lighter material in its air experimental armor plates, unlike the Snowball Mark I, the Snowball Mark II is lighter and faster. It also includes a pair of active protection systems to offset the lack of armor. So this is not going to be a pirate ship. This is going to be more of a combat ship. I take it back. It is not going to be more of a combat ship. This is a ship that is using flight decks as armor. It does have guns. You might not be able to see them, but there are 4 AK-100s slotted in underneath the fuel tanks. It uses how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 D30 engines for its thrust, making it quite fast and maneuverable. It has the escape pods, which will launch through the flight decks. It also has the tiniest engines you've ever seen, legs, just poking out under the landing gear here. I need to try out the landing on this Orb of Heresy. First of all, it's pretty maneuverable. Let's see if we can get it down. It's got really good thrust. Yeah, this is definitely a snowball that has been mixed in with some gravel, isn't it? It's got great thrust. There are legs there, Chaos Space Marine. They're just tiny little stubs. Probably call it a bowling ball. Getting it to land flat is actually proving very difficult. Oops. It's very, very spicy. Very fiddly to land. Well, that was my fault for bouncing it. Spin it? I can spin it. Anyway, it does land if you land it flat. It has little legs. If I move this, you can see the legs here. It is also, let me just reload it because I messed around with it. That was the Snowball Mark II. It's in budget. It's got great range, top speed of 341 kilometers per hour. Pretty good ship, just very, very full of heresy. 4 AK-100s is a lot of firepower as well, and because of the heresy and the way the guns have been placed, they have almost full fields of fire as well, which is just crazy. And for those not in the know, flight decks have durability on par with armor, so they do the same job pretty well. All right, next up we've got the Cerberus Mk1 from Format. Oh, this is a sprint support ship. It's like a Lightning that's been set up to do anti-air duties. We've got, what, 10 sprints. We've got an FCR. This is the MR12, so it's got Guidance 2 built in and a tracking radar range of 400 kilometers. 3 AK-100s in a triangle setup with full fire round, and it's using as much armored hull as it can to try and give it some protection. This is a pretty nice addition to a garrison on its own. It's not the most, it's not going to do a lot on its own, but tied in with a bunch of other ships, it's going to be part of a really good defensive network. 10 sprints is an aggressive amount of anti-air. People really don't want me to rely on planes in this this playthrough, do they? They're like, no planes for us. We're over range, we're in budget, top speed of 250 kilometers per hour. That's pretty fast. This is like another great submission. That's the Format from Cerberus 1. Next we have the Starstreak from Funky Furry. Now I actually have a whole ton of lore from them that I didn't realize I had. Let me just grab it up because they sent it to me on Discord. Let me see if I can find it. There we go. Do I have it? Not for the Starstreak. Yep, I've got it for the Starstreak. Okay. Let me just open this up. I should have downloaded it. A long awaited return to the original design philosophy of speed over armor, the Starstreak class is regarded by many as a terror of the skies. A 360-degree covering of Palash APS is provided by 6 units covering the ship's unarmored frame. In the middle sits twin 180mm cannon designed mostly for ground attack, using prox-fused ammo to cover a wide area deadly shrapnel. They can, however, be configured for anti-air use as well, using the same prox to ammo or regular HE. Armor-piercing ammo for good gun does exist, but is rarely used to its price and relevant niche use cases of the role the ship has been designed to serve. So it looks like we've got a Sarma that is able to pack a Sarmat, and let's check that out. I guess it makes sense, right? You want to put a Sarmat on a Sarma. Let's see what we've got for the Starstreak. Oh, brilliant. I can't wait to see the kittens after the stream. Tavian, cheers. See you, TRM. Have a good... Hope your meetings go well. Yeah, we do indeed have a Sarmat, and we have 6 Palash. So even though the ship looks very undefended, it does have a triple... I didn't have the ship up yet, so I'll say. I can't multitask, David. It's actually the fun that made you decide it. The Sarma, so yeah, it's Sarma. I'm surprised it's taken us this long to get to a Sarmat on a Sarma, but we do indeed have the dual 180mm cannon, and the 6 Palash is pretty fantastic in terms of defense. Once that goes down, the ship's going to die pretty quick, but it's going to take a while to drill through this. Yes, incendiary 130mm will cause some problems for it. Sorry, 36mm. That is a good point. But again, it's one of those ships that's probably very easy to underappreciate, and would probably get ignored in a fight for a little while, which would give the cannon a decent amount of time to fire before it gets taken out. All in all, it looks like a really cool ship. Thanks, Funky Fury. All right, next up we've got the Basalisk II from Hekkura. We've got 2 ships from Hekkura, actually. I do have a little bit of lore from Hekkura. Let's have a look. The Basalisk II. The Basilisk Corvette is a class of lightly armored, fast corvettes with heavy armament for its weight class. Relying on evasion rather than armor, the ship, while not as nimble as an interceptor, can offer frigate-grade firepower with more range, speed, and endurance. The Basilisk does offer light reinforced hull cages incorporated with sloped space armor integrated into its frame that offers scant protection to vital components. This upgraded variant incorporates missile launch hardpoints for R5 missiles and a modified weapons loadout, while also shedding some of the unnecessary weight to squeeze extra range to just about match the Sarma. So before I do that, let's quickly check the Starstreak. I forgot to confirm that it is yes in budget and yes in range. Good. Let's check out the Basilisk II. All right. Cool design. We've got 4 Sarma, so it's 4 Zeniths, 2 AK-100s, 1 57mm Vimpel. They're right about there being barely any protection. Top speed of 520 kilometers per hour. The Starstreak was in range. I checked it. Yeah, I think so. No, it's not. You're right. It's under range. 1065. That can be fixed by adding in an extra fuel tank somewhere. That's not a big issue. It's just under range. It's got plenty of budget to fix that issue at 24880. So we're all good there, as far as I'm concerned. Back to the Basilisk. Basilisk is in budget, 1087 on range. It's just on in range. Top speed of 520 kilometers per hour. Obviously, that's inflated by the side-mounted D30Ss. It won't be able to achieve that speed in combat, but still be very fast and maneuverable. It has a range of 187, which is there. It's okay, Funky. We can just throw a fuel tank on it. It's all good. Or if you want to do it, go ahead. That's fine as well. I can just put that submission into the vote. But yeah, this is another cool design. I like it. It's got flares, which sadly the AI will not use. That's not Palash, which is what I thought originally. I don't think there's any Palash on the design. No, there's no Palash. So the one thing the ship has to watch out for is once it gets hit, it's probably going to go down quite fast, especially with the fuel tanks near the outer hull. But until it does that, it's going to be very fast, and it's going to deliver some firepower onto the enemy, which is me, in a pretty nice, compact little form. So its small size and its high speed will give it some survivability. It's a cool ship. All right, next up, another ship from Hekkura. We've got the Malatack-II-ER, which I'm assuming stands for extended range. So let's see what they say about that. The Malatack-II class of frigates are a proven design that replaces the likes of the Intrepid class, featuring a squat, sloped armor envelope that provides relatively even coverage around the ship and a powerful yet light set of armaments, combined with a proven engine system and a unique wing-mounted layout that improves the ship's static thrust authority. Internal space allows for different configurations, including extra fuel tanks, active protection systems, or even a jammer. The ER version has a modified weapons loadout and additional fuel tanks extending the range to rival the Sarma frigate. However, the extra fuel slightly compromises the craft's survivability. Okay, let's check this out. Okay, very similar to shape and design to the other ship, but it is much better armored. It is well over range, 342 kilometers per hour is great. It's in budget as well. We've lost the side-mounted D30s for just downward-facing D30s, and it no longer has the D30 here. Again, 2 AK-100s, 157mm. It is heart-shaped. Yeah, Misha, well spotted. It is this little heart ship. It feels like it's desperate for a couple of Zeniths, but it just can't fit them into the budget, which is a shame. Or can't find the mounts for them, because they are only... how much is Zeniths again? 600. You can probably get a Zenith in here and be in budget, but it's a cool... It's well more armored than before. Good speed, good maneuverability. It's not going to take a lot of... Getting shot out from below isn't going to blow the engines. You're going to lose these fuel tanks, but there's more fuel tanks at the top. It looks like quite a solid design for survivability. That's a good ship from Hekkura. Alright, next up we've got some ships from Keaor. We've got the Ganymede, the Saturn, and... Sorry, the Ganymede and the Saturn. Let's check out the Ganymede's lore. The Ganymede is a medium-scale brawler that was originally designed to fight at the front alongside heavy cruisers and battleships. However, its age shows as it is unable to take on missiles. As a result, it is usually found repurposed for garrisons with a need to fight off large pirate forces on a regular basis. Most of them have armor oriented on the top to allow a measure of safety when parked. Let's check this out. Oh, that's the same ship again. Let's check out the Ganymede. Wow. Oh, that's a cool design. This is our second Sarma. Big, heavy armor plates on the top here. We have I forgot the name of it, Palash and armor plating to protect the lower end. These interesting D30 engines on the outside here. Check it out, Tavian. Have fun. Very compressed. Is this a little bit of cursed construction here? No, it's just a half place. Very compact. Everything's kind of stuck in the hull in a very tight configuration. The fuel tanks are interestingly placed next to the bridge, which could cause a problem, but there isn't a lot of room to put them anywhere else. Top speed of 253 kilometers per hour. It's within range at 1140, and it's in budget, which is good. A flag sandwich. Does look a little bit like a sandwich. Another victim to AP rounds. Yeah, it's going to struggle. I think we're going to struggle with the Sarmas to find a build that's going to be able to survive everything, but it's not bad. Especially, it'll lose these engines quite quickly, which is a shame, but I actually quite like the design. I like the long, thin shape of it. It's pretty cool. All right, let's check out the other ship we've got from Keaor, which is the Saturn. So the Saturn is an all-round assault ship featuring decent armor, solo fuel capacity, cruising speed, and firepower. It is a favorite of local warlords and smaller houses who cannot afford much more, and one or two will often form the core of a city's militia flotilla. It's breaking for proxy. That's the thing. Do you want to waste the money, right, from your big guns to fire AP or procs at these ships like this? That's where it becomes an issue. I don't want to load the Ganymede. I want to load the Sarma. Ooh, this is a very different design. 4 AK-100s, sadly blocked by the fuel tank, but it's hard to get around that. 4 Zeniths. Do we have any Palash built into the frame? Let me just quickly check that. No Palash built into the frame, so it's just got the armor as its defense, which isn't the end of the world. Speed of 180 kilometers, range of 1088, and it's in budget at 25880. It is cute. You're right, Sixsock. I like it a lot. I like the legs. Anything with for me, right? This is my problem. Anything with legs that are at a slight angle, I just find it jaunty, and that makes me like the ship. Maybe that's the easy way to get me to like ships, is just go for that. It's very, very lightly engined, this ship, with only 2 NK-25s and 2 D30Ss. It doesn't really give it a lot of maneuverability in combat, which is maybe a downside. Excuse me. Sorry, I don't like to yawn on stream, but it has been a long day. It's got that going. It's got that as a sort of minor downside. We do have the bridge mounted on top of the fuel tank, but there's not really anywhere else to put the bridge that's safe. And at least it's got an armored hat on top of it. It's a good little design. I bet you it's quite small in combat, quite compact, probably not too easy to hit. And because it's got the AK-100s, you might be tempted to overlook it for a while. If it's got AP or proxies, it'll do a lot of damage over time with that armament. So that's another good entry from Keaor. Okay, next up we've got the Stampede from Kipp. Kippco's bringing the Stampede to the table. Tried to impose my own restrictions on this one, the same as the rest of my submissions. Maintain a similar armament and the same amount of missiles. This model is a lot slower than I would like, but it stays within cost and has a great deal of punch. No bells and whistles, however. The missiles are all protected and contained, and its primary armaments have full coverage. Those are 2 big notes at the end of the Kipp design there, because Kipp, I think, has brought us some really good protected missile designs before. So yeah, we've got in reinforced armor. Actually, this is the same ship. Hang on. Here's the Kippco ship. Okay, we've got a D80 Monarch, actually 3 D80 Monarchs with full elevation. We've got 4 Zeniths in little launch bays that are as well protected as you can get them, really. Almost full armor coverage with gaps where there has to be gaps to allow things through the armor. We've got a top speed of 137 kilometers per hour, so it is one on the slower side for our ships. Range is 1194, which is fine, and price is 26480, which I also think is fine. But I'll just check that. Range 26575, yep, that's fine. And range 1082. It is just within range and just within budget, which is perfect. That's exactly where we want to be sitting with this submission, really. Okay, I'm so sorry. I'll start with a sip of tea, and that'll get those yawns away. A Sarma that can really hurt you many-headed mishaps. This thing's got some serious firepower. This and the ships with Sarmats on their own can be a real threat. The ones with the smaller caliber guns are very dangerous when they're being overlooked in favor of another ship. But this ship's armament would make it a priority in combat to me. 3 D80 Mullets is a lot of heavy fire. Yeah, the guy she told you not to worry about for sure. Alright, that is the Stampede, which does look like, the name's pretty good as well. That's a Super Stampede. Next up we've got the Orthus for many-headed mishaps. Let's see what you've got for us. Let's just check your lore. The Scylla, the Orthus. A small gathering missile ship designed and constructed in remarkable secrecy before being deployed in moderate numbers across Garat. The ship's sudden appearance, combined with its cruiser-like design and lack of any particularly advanced or secret technology, have led some to believe its original role was a small-scale test platform for a larger missile platform. I was hoping somebody would make a mini Typhon for a flower replacement, but nobody did, so here it is as a Sarma. Alright, let's check this out. The Sarma flower. The Orthus. Oh, it is a bit like a Typhon, isn't it? That's a scary amount of missiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Zeniths. We've got 157mm Vimpel. It again has a really cute, and I like this about your ships, front and a back design to it, where instead of looking at the ship maybe front on, looking at it side on. I love your sensor bridge here with the 500km radar, the 250km FCR, which you've got 4 sprints for. We've got ELINT coverage as well. This little engine in the middle is great. I like this a lot. This is really cute. I want to actually try and land this, not because I don't think it'll land, just because I want to fly it. I want to see the legs deploy as well. There goes the landing gear down. It just looks like a really nice little support ship. Sadly, I can't launch any missiles. A command destroyer, yeah.
500 meters.
Ooh, when I'm able to slow this down appropriately. It does want to lean backwards quite a lot. There's a little bit of a problem here. That pillar there is a big problem. Yes, if one engine goes down, it does die from loss of control, but it's not a brawler. This ship's not designed to brawl. It's going to come in and launch missiles at you or shoot down some planes. It should be named the Drizzle. I like that a lot. I just love the silhouette of ships like this. It has a really cool silhouette. I wasn't expecting to see a cruiser coded ship in these submissions, and that's a nice surprise. Thank you for that, many-headed mishaps. That's a really nice ship. All right, that was the Orthus for many-headed ships. Next up, we've got the Guardian for MrNathan101. Let me open that up. Oh, the Typhoon. Yeah, Orthus was his firstborn. Ah, there you go. So it's a nice link. A baby Typhon. That's cute. So this is the Guardian from Mr. Nathan. Falco, Urigan, Kirov, Crossbow, Prophet, Seraph Mod 1, Crusader, Estoc Mark II, Seraph Mod 2, Beta, Guardian. Guardian class radar picket corvette. A civilian search and rescue corvette converted for military use, the Guardian is an oddity of design. Her excess internal cabins were removed to mount Sea Whiz guns, and her side drop pods switched out for 1,000kg bombs. Her lookout mast is modified to be able to mount a large EWR radar and an ELINT device, leaving her engines and infrared camera the only parts that resemble what's left of her former service design. Although not suited for combat, her role as a radar picket ship will be of great service to any combatant who wishes to take the intelligence initiative. Born out of the Liberty-class search and rescue corvette, the abundant Liberty ships will quickly find a suitable hull that would fit well for military service. A quick internal equipment replacement and not much major hull changes made her a cheap option to mount sentry equipment for military use. Although a Norfolk naval shipbuilder's design, NATCO's connection with the company allowed for NATCO to lobby the inclusion of bombs into the design, which was a convenient cheap alternative over the R5 Zenith missiles originally intended to replace the drop pods. The idea of the ship is born out of finding a real-life civilian ship design transformed for military use and I found it from the US Liberty-class ships and their conversion from merchant vessels to the Guardian-class ships was a military radar picket ship conversion. The idea was fun, fun as creating a design born out of civilian conversion is something noteworthy, and so she kept the name of the lore. Only this time she didn't come from a merchant ship design, but from a Coast Guard, or Sky Guard for that matter, search and rescue design. That's cool. Alright, let's check out your search and rescue rebuild ship, the Guardian. Very nice. We've got it's got a MR700 on it. So it's got the 750km radar. It's also got the MP404 Elant, and it has an IRS-1 Mars. It does have 2 bombs, which I love, and it also has a 37mm. So this is just a support ship. But putting this in the Sarma slot may open up some interesting things to happen in garrisons, because this is probably the cheapest you're going to find a radar ship on. It's within range, it's within price as well. Because this is mounting tons of guns, it's also got quite a good top speed at 400km/h. An interesting submission for the Sarma. Next up, we've got another ship from Nathan. We've got the Makarov Mk2. I'll load that up and read its fluff. Ooh, that's a cute design. The Makarov Mk2, Makarov class local defense corvette. A major improvement over the Makarov Mk2 provides more firepower and protection over the older model. Armored and equipped with APS, it can take more potential damage without sacrificing the firepower needed on the older design. Armaments: 2 AK-100s, 2 R5 Zeniths, and 3 Fab 1000 bombs. Active defenses: 4 Palash APS. As time would tell, the Makarov, although proving itself a diligent design, is showing signs of obsolescence from modern local defense work. It is acknowledged by NAPCO, and work has been done to hastily provide an improvement of the old ship, giving it more protection and survivability, something the Makarov lacked. Yes, garrisons do use radars like strike groups if they've got them, Misha. Even if they've got missiles and planes, they will launch them. Like her original model, the Makarov Mk2 is named after the Russian service pistol, the Makarov. Although the Makarov was quite reliable for her time, improvements were made to keep her up to date. So as mentioned, we've got 2 AK-100s, we've got 2 Zeniths, we've got the 3 bombs underneath, armor all the way around, and Palash built into the hull, giving it a double layer top-bottom, which is pretty survivable. This is a very small ship, very tight silhouette, lots of defense on it. Only 2 AK-100s is a bit low on armament, but the toss-up on that is a ship that's going to last for a long time in combat. It's got the range it needs, it's in budget, top speed of 227km/h is pretty fast. That's another good design on the board. Right, next up we've got 4 ships from OrangeElephant. Let me just grab their lore. I don't actually think I've got any lore from OrangeElephant. Doesn't seem like I do. If I've missed an OrangeElephant, I apologize. But first we've got the Ned Kelly, well known in Australia. The Ned Kelly is a interesting look here. It's a cross between a light brawler and an anti-name ship, anti-airship. Sorry, we've got 6 sprints. God, I can't count. With 1 FCR on them, so it's got guidance 1, and 3 AK-100s with full coverage. Top speed of 300km/h. Range is fine, and it's within budget. So this is your option if you want. It's basically an anti-air corvette that can, or maybe an anti-air frigate that can deal out a pretty reasonable amount of damage once it's dealt with the planes that are coming by. So that's another cool design from Mr. Orange. Next up, we've got OrangeElephant. We've got the Nico Erp, which is another. This is probably under armor for its name. Yeah, you'd think the Ned Kelly would be covered in armor, right? The Erp is a light carrier with 2 T7s, 1 T7 and 2 LA-29s, 2 Vimpels, and that's it for armament. A little bit of armor. Speed is fine, 250km/h, well within range, well within budget. So this is your light carrier option for garrison defense. Next up we have the Seth Ringo, which is basically the next step of the design. We've gone from anti-air ship to aircraft carrier. Now we've got the missile carrier. This has 2 A100 nukes, actually 1 A100, no, they're just under honorary A100s. Not that that matters to the AI, and 4 Zeniths in quite a tight little package. Again, 57mm. We've got 282km/h as its speed, good range, and it's well within budget as well. That's another great submission. And finally, we've got the Sundance Kid from OrangeElephant. 6 Zeniths, did I miss 2? Oh yes, I missed the downward facing Zeniths, thank you. Well pointed out. Okay, next up we've got the Sundance Kid. Sundance Kid looks very similar to the Ned Kelly. No, the Ned Kelly... Does that have active sensor? Yes, the Ned Kelly has the FCR and the sprints. The Sundance Kid is the more brawly version. It has... it's dropped that for 2 Zeniths. It's got the 3 AK-100s, top speed of 300km/h, well within range, well within price. Does it have those down-facing ones? No. Did I maybe miss some Palash here? Doesn't look like it. No, there's no Palash in the design. So you got your brawler version as well. So you've got your aircraft carrier, your anti-air ship, your missile carrier, and your brawler, all for the Sarma. Oh, a whole collection put together there by OrangeElephant. All right, next up we've got the Scylla, or the Scylla from Chaos Space Marine 92. Oh, cool! It's another crab. I love a crab. Got those crab legs in there. Got those little mandibles. Two Mark 1 180s, which is actually quite a lot of firepower on a light ship like this. Triangular design on the armor to try and protect the fuel tanks that are slotted inside. Speed of 222 kilometers per hour, which is reasonable, especially for this much armor on a ship. We've got a range of 1,209 kilometers, which is fine. And we also are within the budget. It's quite close to the top of the budget, which is nice to see. You want to be as tight to that as you can get. I love the legs on it. I just love crab legs. I actually want to see how they deploy. Oh, that's quite sinister, the way they come out. It should land fine. Kind of looks a bit like an alien spacecraft coming down to, you know, attack this town rather than land on it.
300 meters.
To see what happens to those lower legs or how good the flex is, really.
100 meters. Throwing it ready. Touchdown confirmed.
Nice. Very, very, very comfortable landing. Cool ship.
Thanks for your hard work.
Those little mandible legs just hanging there. Alright, that's the Scylla from Chaos Space Marine 92. It's another good design. After that, we've got the Shogun, the Taipan from Shogun. Do I have lore for that? Yes, I do. Snakehead, Taipan, Tyrant, Valkyrie, Overlord, Valk, Leader. I don't think I've got it for this ship. Tyrant, Tempest. No, I don't have anything for this ship. Let's check out the Taipan. Ooh. Could potentially land in a floof port, 66 meters. Is that wide? No, sorry, 44 meters. Is that wide enough? We've got 2 AK-100s. We've got 4 Zeniths. We've got a lot of fuel tanks. It's a bit of a shame that this ammo compartment has been elevated out of the hull when they went to the effort of placing the fuel tanks. Did you submit lore for it? Are you Shogun? I don't see... Oh, no, you're talking about the width for the 46 for the floof landing. Yeah, it's probably these armor piles on the side here that make it a little bit too wide. You could probably fix this elevation by replacing this with something like a corner piece. Maybe that's not going to be enough right now. There you go. That's the elevation issue sorted. If you wanted to do that, maybe a little bit of we'll call it cheating, just another way of looking at it. Let me just reload it so we've got the original submitted stats though. So we've got a range of 1,365 kilometers, speed of 240 kilometers per hour, and it's within the price range, very close at 2,000, 26,000. It's a cool ship. Fixing this elevation issue makes it a lot scarier because these guns can shoot down into the side, so it's got the full coverage on the AK-100s. They've gone for armor over firepower, which means it will last a long time, or last a reasonable amount of time, but the guns aren't super scary. Not that 2 AK-100s aren't scary. But I like the shape of it. I like the armored launch bay for the Zeniths. I like the legs. I like this heavy armor on the sides. It's a different design, and I quite like to see things that are different. Alright, next up we've got the Setha from SirOsse. I thought I had lore from SirOsse. Is it maybe in... Yes, you did send me lore. No, you sent me Varyag lore. Okay. That's all good. I will check your Varyag lore out when it's Varyag time. But let's check out the Setha. Ooh. I like this. You've managed to fit a lot of fuel onto a very small ship. So what have we got here? 200 kilometers per hour. We've got a range of 12,000 kilometers, 1,200 kilometers, and we were in budget as well, which is great. Accidentally muted my microphone. So professional. We've got 2 KH-15s and we've got 4 sprints with an FCR, and we also have 4 AK-100s tucked in under the gas tank. So it can brawl, it can fight at long range with the KH-15s, and it can shoot down planes, doing a little bit of the jack of all trades. It is quite low armor, that's the only downside of it, but for a Corvette that's doing a lot of jobs. I'm just going to check for Palash. No Palash, that's fine, I don't think you could fit it in. This is doing a lot for a very low price. We'll replace them with A100s, yeah. Anyone that gets through that's put KH-15s on their design, we'll replace them with A100s before they get put into the campaign, because the garrisons won't fire them for some reason. So don't worry about that. I will update them. People didn't know about that when they submitted the ships, and it's an easy fix to change. It's the same price. So yeah, that's the I like this armor panel underneath, behind the missile launcher. That's quite cool. That's the Setha. Next up we have the Margaret from Sloams. let's check the lore out for that. Oh, I don't know if they have Sloams. Sure, somebody's up with the Sloams law. This is the Margaret. Oh, it's another cute little crab, which I adore. 1 AK-100, 257 millimeters. It's got 4 zeniths coming out the sides and from the top. It has layered armor behind the missile launcher. Bottom armor as well. It has another example of thrusters inside the hull, so they're actually protected. The hull piece will take fire before they do. Pretty good all-around armor. Let's check for Palash. No Palash on this design, but I don't think it needs it. The cute thing about it is not only is it a crab, I haven't checked the stats yet, thanks to mishaps. Not only is it a crab, but it will use all 4 legs when it lands, which I find impressive. We've got a top speed of 300 kilometers per hour, 1,000 meters range. Just over range, which is fine, and just under budget. Very nicely done. Also, built in a very symmetrical style that I find very pleasing. Especially things like these 2 generators with a curved shape to them. This, even though I'm scared of it, the half ammo under the bridge down into the gun, it all looks really, really nice. Great work there. Oh, I'm yawning a lot tonight, sorry. Okay, next up we've got the Lemure from Strawman. That's a Nomad lore. All Nomad lore, okay. I've already read the Nomad lore out. So let's check out the Lemure from Strawman. 2 D80 Mullet straight away. We've got 1 Palash here, which for some reason, I guess they didn't have room underneath to mount that in the hull, which is a shame. We had a Harmonica. We've got 2 sideways thrusters, which give it a lot of speed, and downward thrusters here as well. You get top speed of 377 kilometers per hour, a range of 1133, which is within range, which is great, and it's just under budget as well. Actually, is that under budget? Let me just check that. 26575. Wow, that is $30 under budget, which is very nice. Very well done. I get we've been. It's cute. Let's see what else we got on. What was this? So it's got 3 Palash built into it. The 2 D80 Mullets is good firepower, lots of armor, but good speed for that armor, and a very small silhouette again. The fuel is all very much internal as well, so it's not going to get pierced through by armor piercing. It looks like a pretty solid build. You're missing an armor piece here. I'm guessing that's because of a price issue. If I put that in here, so we're currently 26545, 26745. Does that take it over budget? Yes, it does. It does take it 200 over budget. That's probably why that armor piece is not included, which is a shame, because it gives me a tick seeing that one little piece of armor missing, but that's not a problem. That's a good submission. Thank you so much for that, Strawman. All right, next up we've got... it's okay. It's good that you missed it, because it actually puts it over budget if you put that in. Oh, we could maybe put a piece of reinforced hull in there. That's a good point. Let's check that out. So we're at 26545. Yes. Can we fit that in? 26575. Nope, it is over budget with a piece of reinforced hull in there. You could put a piece of hull in there, and it will be in budget. But not a piece of reinforced hull. All right, we were looking at the Testament from Tekguy. I do have lore for. After the Gathering's uprising, a call for designs emerged from the new government for replacement of the sturdy and venerable Sarma for city garrisons. It needed to be well armored, have 3 x 57mm turrets, and of course needed to be built in a hurry. The engineers at Anvil Industries took inspiration for their concept when looking over the many studied tenement buildings over the city where their offices were located and had an idea. Why not just arm one of the already existing study shells of the many stonework buildings all over Garat? Is this a flying skyscraper? The result of this question was the Testament class, or Tenement class, as I'm calling it, so named after the first neighborhood to be subjected to conversion. Heavy industrial engines were taken from decommissioned trade vessels, and a shell of steel was welded over the building to keep them from being shaken apart on landing and takeoff. Whilst not nimble, the armor concept has worked surprisingly well, and though 57mm cannons may have trouble with armor targets, one thing was certain: these were cheap and could be made in a hurry ahead of the next conflict, which is exactly what the Gathering was looking for. What a premise, indeed. Let's just strap some engines to our skyscrapers and put guns on them. Okay, it's a tenement block. Yeah, that's a lot of armor. 357mm with full coverage, and we've got 2 zeniths built in here as well. There's no way there's any active defenses in this. Top speed of 222 kilometers per hour. It's within range, and it is within budget as well. It's actually quite cheap. I wonder how long this would last under heavy firepower. I'm going to throw it into a fight A difficulty 10 large fight and see how long it lasts. The architect and engineer were matched, but in different ways. I just want to see how much damage this thing can take.
Missile launched.
That one little engine. Polish hasn't even tickled it. It's very small as well, actually, and it's actually pretty maneuverable. Still hasn't taken any damage. Get some DAC on it. The Palash is doing absolutely nothing to it. Not the Palash, the Prox Fuse. Okay, that missile did a lot. It's taking a beating. I'm out of FSS, unfortunately, so now on a lot of fire. Also, only one of the guns is now firing. It's gonna go down now. That was a massive explosion in the center. It's dead. It's totally dead. Okay, but that took a lot of damage for such a cheap ship. It sure as hell deals psychological damage. That it does. Take a sanity check. Look, I'm impressed. I was expecting that to last as long as it did. Obviously, the missile did penetrate through and do a lot of damage, and there are fuel tanks behind the armor. But all in all, that did more than I was expecting it to. That is the Testament, not the Tenement, the Testament class. All right, next up we've got the Jenny from Teph. The Jenny is the official touring ship of the Romani band Dead Grab. The band used to give concerts on top of their ship using flares for the light show. The band was also the first in the Empire to use electronic instruments, making them a target for traditionalists. And when the band refused to write songs glorifying the Empire and their war efforts, they had to flee to Garrett before the Romani Secret Service would jail them. In Garrett, they found the refuge and were allowed to stay. In exchange, they had to give the gathering the blueprints for their ship. Now they still give concerts in Garrett, and sometimes, when the clouds are hanging low, you can hear the screams of the lead singer and the banging of the drums. That's when you know they're in your area. Alright, so the Jenny is a tour ship, which I'm guessing is going to have a stage on top of it, where the band would perform. Let's check this out. It does look like it looks like the structure for a stage. I like that their stage is armed with a D80 Molot and an AK-100. It has 2 flares. It also has 3 Palash. And I'm guessing that this is the boarding ramp to get into the stage / ship. It is awesome. Like the concept is really fun. It looks like it will die very quickly in combat, but the actual design behind it is great. I really like the idea behind it and the commitment to like, here is the turning. Here is your tour ship. Let's see how long it lasts against the small mid 5. I guess it's going to catch fire. Oh, there's 2 gladiators here. It's not going to last long at all. Oh dear, we're on fire already. I could shoot down that missile. Ooh. And there she goes. With the party escape pods. Oh, it's going to take out that Courageous. Oh, I just bashed the Courageous. So yeah, it's not going to last very long, but what a great design. I love that you submitted it. So that is the Jenny from Teph. Next up, we have the Fulcrum from the Supreme Patriarch. I don't think I have any lore for their ships. No, I don't. Let's check out the Fulcrum. Ooh, the Flying V. Oh, it's another ship that looks like it's from Tyrion, which is a top-down shmup from like back in very early like DOS gaming. I used to play it a lot. It just looks like a top-down shmup ship to me. We've got 2 Zeniths. We've got Palash coverage, 2 AK-100s. It does not have any armor at all. Price 25,850. Range 1293. 484 kilometers per hour with no sideways mounted engines. This is actually a very fast ship. This looks like a cockpit. It definitely looks like it should be flying straight, like the top of the screen being where it's attacking, and it's shooting in that direction. I don't know how much punishment this ship is going to take, but it is a cool design. Oh, there's also a D80 Mallet there that I completely missed. Two AK-100s and a D80 Mallet, so it has reasonable firepower. Only one more gun than the Jenny, though. I love the design and the shape of it and what it's evocative of, and reminding me of Tyrion is always a great time, because that was a cool game. But I'm a bit concerned about its survivability. All right, next up we have the Bay AAPU from Tokyo. I'm going to give this unknown nation a game. As mentioned before, the Bay-class corvettes were being phased out due to change in doctrine. Yet Defense Command of the Eastern Republic thought it would be a waste if they were to scrap a bunch of corvettes which are still in relative condition. So they approached the Ship Design Bureau, gave them a budget until they designed an upgrade for the Bay-class corvettes and turned them into garrison ship. The result was the Bay AAPU, the Armor and Protective Protection upgrade. The Defense Command liked the upgrade and has planned to refit all of the multiple Bay-class. They are also available for export. Let's check this out. Let me just close some of these lore text that I've left open. Alright, let's check out the... Oops, this is the Fulcrum again. The AAPU. Triple AK-100s with full elevation, so they can shoot in every direction. Big, heavy armor. Then we've got an ablative hull layer to take missiles, basically, stop them from penetrating through. It looks like we have a... No, we don't have a layer there. I thought there was going to be a layer underneath. There is also Palash in this, apparently. At least if I read the name right. Yes, there are two Palash in these reinforced sections here, so it's Palash left and right. It's another very heavily armored ball. We have a top speed of 240 kilometers per hour. We're well within range at 1203, and we are 5 credits off budget, if I've got this right, which is very impressive. There should be a special reward, I think, for getting bang on budget, which a couple of ships have done. But yeah, the budget is 26,575, and we have 26,570. So it is 5 credits off max budget, which is I'm very impressed by. Another cool little design, another small ship that will do a lot of damage. Next up, we've got the Adelaide from Thomas Greenberg. Let's see what they're saying. The G.MRL, oh, that's the Phalanx, so neither of those ships are in the lore that I've got here. Check this out. Ooh, interesting shape here. We've got an armor component in the middle of the ship is the first thing my eyes are drawn to. 2 AK-100s, which are sadly, they've got an elevation issue on this. If we were to replace this, I think, with a curved hull piece, which I know aesthetically upsets a lot of people, we would get full coverage on those AK-100s, so that's maybe a change we can make if the ship wins its vote. We want to make it as nasty as possible. It's got lots of reinforced hull. Doesn't look like there's any APS or anything in here. It does have a layered hull situation, so it's got hull, then armor, and then the internal systems, which means the missiles shouldn't penetrate through. There's no APS. Top speed of 168 kilometers per hour, range of 1139, and a price of 21,000. It's very cheap. Very, very cheap. If you want your budget option, this is the ship to go with. 2 AK-100s is quite low on armament. That's lightning levels of armament, but still, we've seen how much damage a lightning can do if it's in the right hands. Nearly mine. So, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Are allowed to use modded parts? I haven't... If the game will load them without me needing to change my game or install any files, I'm letting them through. So some people are using parts that aren't officially released in the game, like just different hull pieces to change the look of it. But if it actually needs a mod installed, I'm not allowing any of those just for this playthrough. Alright, next up we've got the Agari by Trem. Lots of people with T's. And you could upload to Mollet, that's a good point. Throw some of the way to take over the entire of Garrett. Look, I've basically done that already, Sifrid. Alright, this is the... Oh, that's the wrong person. That's Tokyo Trem. So the Prochorus, except for the gathering salvage team records. After clearing the engine nozzles of debris, we actually managed to re-engage the engines. Remarkable, given how long this thing has been sitting mostly under desert sands. Apparently, the Agaricus built their equipment to last. All the missiles were extracted, and the guns were dry, but barrels are straight and mounts are rugged, so we could re-equip them if the radar picks up some feistier scavengers on the way back home. Okay. I'm sorry about that, Neutron C. Oh, another interesting mushroom build from Trem. We've got two Vimples with full coverage and 4 Zeniths with a very heavy hull on the ship, and we've got the downward-facing RD-51 that is kind of the signature of their ships. Do we have any Palash built into this ship? No Palash. Top speed of 200 kilometers per hour. Range of 1059, which is just... No, it's under range. It is under range. We can fix that, though. I can see places to fit a fuel tank in. And it is in budget. If we were to put a fuel tank in any of these positions here, it has now got the range it needs. So it's easy to fix. The static will be an issue. Yeah, it's probably going to get blown off quite quickly. But this central hull component here will probably last a while. The main issue we've got is the armament. For a Sarma class, it's not going to do a lot of brawling. But it will probably last a long time and be annoying in a fight, which is probably just as good. All right, next up we have our first LaFay build for the night. We have the Thunderbolt from Morgan Le Fay. Let me just get my lore folder back open, which I just accidentally closed, which is really stupid of me. Le Fay. The Thunderbolt. Yeah, that's a good point. Many mishaps. It's not actually that undergummed compared to the normal Sarma. Thunderbolt class light corvette. While House Le Fay's Advanced Airship Design Bureau does not have much experience in constructing small vessels, they are, by their own admission, specialists in designing cruisers and battleships. The Thunderbolt class corvette is an oddity among the ships drafted by Tarkhan Le Fay. Weighing just shy of 4,000 tons with a respectable thruster-weight ratio, well protected with a smaller version of the Klondike armor system found on larger Challenger-class battleships, and armed with two 100mm AK-100s, the vessel is a sturdy, exceptionally well-protected alternative to the venerable Sarma. While it is unlikely that they will replace the design, the Thunderbolt has become an increasingly common sight within Gera due to its excellent weapons and ease of modifications. Some Tarkans even removed the escape pods to fit missiles into the top rack aboard the ship, which is occupied with the ship's lifeboats by default. Nevertheless, this battleship is an incredibly dangerous foe, with a massive battery of rapid-firing guns that can make short work of any vessels on their sights. Hey Vincent Weber, how are you doing? We're just going through, we're getting to the end of the Sarmas, of which I've had 37 to go through. We're going to load the first Le Fay ship, the Thunderbolt, which I'm expecting is going to look pretty scary. Yes, we have a nice layered armor setup with Palash built into it, so missiles hitting this will destroy the hull and not things behind it. Two AK-100s. As mentioned, there is space to upgun to missiles in the top rack here. We have a top speed of 315 kilometers per hour. Any speed over 250 that isn't making use of sideways mounted thrusters is very fast in my opinion. Well within budget, 26380. It ticks all of the boxes. It's a very handsome symmetrical design. FSS on the outside is maybe the only, if I'm nitpicking, and I don't like to nitpick people's ships, is the FSS, but honestly that's a small thing, and you can even add more and stay in budget. This is a nice design. I really like it. Solid guns. Two AK-100s. It's not like the Sarmats we saw earlier, but still a good ship. Alright, next up we've got the Crow from Tacos, which is one of the last ships we're looking at. Let me get their lore open. The Crow. The sister ship to the Macaw, the Crow is outfitted with a large tactical missiles and powerful strategic array, all while being based off mildly modified Macaw hull. The Crow is developed in tandem with the Macaw, while the prototype undergoing manufacturing being presented to the Lord Governor at the same time as the Macaw. Okay, let's check out the Crow. Ooh, another missile attack ship. We've got, what is it, AK-100, or A-100s, 4 A-100s, a FCR with guidance 2, but no sprint stick advantage of that I can see. We've got an IRS Mars here, and we've got Elint as well. So it's a detection and missile ship to add into a garrison to cause me lots of headaches. 366 kilometers per hour is very fast for a ship with this kind of armament. Range is 1088, which is within just like, we have 6 kilometer range to spare, and it's well within budget as well. Yeah, that's that. It does what it says on the tin. There's not much more to say. Good little ship for what you got. Sorry, that was allowed on. Yeah, the gimbal thruster in the center. I don't know what that's actually going to be able to make it do. Let's just check that. Oh, it's going to make it tip like crazy is what it's going to do. This is going to be very hard to land. Try to get some lateral movement out of it. Yeah, like you say, it doesn't need to maneuver well, but it's not going to maneuver very well. This is very, very hard. That's one way to do it. I took the leg off coming down too hard. Tricky to do it, but then again, the AI needs to fly it, not me, and it will probably fit the bill fine. All right, next up. Looks like a Roman warship. It does from the top down. What are they called? Birds of Prey? Or is that the Klingon ships? I can't remember the name of the Roman ships. It's been a long time since I watched Star Trek. All right, next up we've got the Herald from 2Z2, which I don't have lore for, so let's check that out. Yes, I could buy these ships in a Merc Town, I'm pretty sure, which is a lot of money. And yes, the FCR will give guidance. Ooh, triple AK-100s, 2 Zeniths, lots of armor. Is that Palash I see there? No. Just check for Palash really quickly. Doesn't look like there's any Palash. No, no Palash. But still very heavily armed. We've got reinforced hull and armor. We've got 122 kilometers per hour. Oh, come on. Did I miss your submission? I'll check it out after this. I'm sorry if I did. Thanks for pointing that out. Range of 1,095 kilometers is just within range. Price of 26,150. Lots of heavy firepower. Warbirds. Okay. The Roman biggies. Looks like we've got ammo and fuel near the bridge, but where else can you put them in this ship? Very compact. That triple AK-100 is pretty scary. That's a lot of firepower. Where is what ship? Is it just not here? It doesn't seem to be here, unless it's... There's Sunny's ship down here. There it is, there. It's appeared at the bottom. Thank you for pointing that out. I've got it. Let's load this next then. This is the Beluga from Sunny, which I've got... Oh no, it's someone else. Yeah, there it is, good. Yeah, because I've got so many ships under Come1 and so many ships under Sunny. Let me see. Not on this one. Let's check your other one. The Series 2, the Hound, the Longbow. I don't have lore for the Beluga by the looks of it, but we'll load it up next. Ooh. Oh, what is this? Is this the right ship? I mean, it's got the range and it's got the price, but it has no guns, and it's gonna go boom. Well, you know what I need to do. It has lore. Let me check my lore documents in a second. I want to see it go. I want to see it explode. Tiger for garrison relocation. Yeah. Does this mean the garrison will chase? Oh, I think you did say something actually. Now that I think about it, I just want to see this get shot at. I'm sorry. I'm a bit of a sadist at the moment. Oh, it's going down. I can't control it. Yes, that's right. I remember your lore hack. Oh, just once this is over. This is a lot of fire. It's still alive. It's just falling. 26 on fire. There's gonna be a big explosion in a second. Some people actually got out. Okay, back to the lore. I did remember seeing something just now. Longbow, Hound, Eagle, Series 2, Runner, Grumble. It must be in this other document. Ah, here we go. These garrison ships are built to be garrison carriers. This means they will be capable of extending the operational range of garrison fleets. Yes, this is possible. The garrison AI has full capability to move towards targets that are A, spotted by radar and within their bingo fuel range. This is actually the same way the tactical fleet AI works. However, since these ships usually don't have enough fuel to actually get to spotted targets, they will rarely ever move. These tanker ships should be added an extra challenge by allowing the garrison AI to be more aggressive. Wow. So this is giving the garrison AI strike fleet capability by allowing them to step much further out of their comfort zone and come and intercept me if they detect me, which is actually really scary. That's a great submission, Sonny. I'm glad you made sure that I pointed it out, because that completely changes how the game works. I'm quite scared of that. All right, we looked at the Herald, which is the triple AK-100s. Let's have a look at the Hydra. It is quite slow, but that's probably the only downside. Things on garrison ships are going to be slow too. And yeah, it does have the bunch of ranges, you're right. There are other carrier ships that are coming as well. 4 Palash on that, that's its only defense, really, and 3 AK-100s. Top speed of 270 kilometers per hour. People want to keep talking about that ship. I designed the Hydra to be able to lose all of their arms. So it's like a Hydra, right? You cut off one head, and it comes back, which is wow. There's a ton of Sarmas Canada, that's right. I think Golden Floof, what Come1 was saying, what Sunny was saying, was if the AI does calculate the bingo fuel range, so they'll go out as far as the bingo. The Sarma is surprisingly popular, SirOsse, you're right. Anyway, back to the Hydra. So the Hydra can have any of its heads cut off and keep fighting, which is a really cool design choice. We've got 3 AK-100s, which is a decent amount of firepower. Yeah, I've got some other tankers from you, I'm pretty sure, in my files that you've sent through. I like the idea behind the ship that it can have parts of it destroyed and keep fighting. I think that's a really good place to look at. The fuel and the bridge are very centrally located. You've actually got some reinforced hull around them as well. It's a nice shape as well. It's different from everything else. Thank you for submitting that. And last but not least, we've got the Seraphim from you as well. Very heavily armored. Looks like it's got room for missiles that just you didn't have the budget for, sadly. Oh, actually, one thing I didn't check. If we just quickly go back to the Hydra. We're in budget and we are in range. Perfect. And the Seraphim. 2 AK-100s. So it's very similar to your other ship, but you've gone for 2 AK-100s rather than 3. Doesn't look like there's any other armament. What you've gone for is really heavy defense. No palash, no, it's just going to last a long time in combat. And with the armor layering you've done here, you've given yourself missile protection as well, because missiles striking these side pockets will detonate in here rather than penetrating through to deal damage internally, and you've got another layer of armor behind that as well. So what you've got is a very, very bulky, very powerful ship in terms of its defensive capabilities that will stay in the fight for a long time, and that actually makes it really scary. Whew, and that is all of our Sarmas. It's a baby gladiator, indeed. Except it doesn't have the same underneath weakness the Gladiator has, because it's actually under-armored, which is an improvement. Yeah, D30s are very popular because of the cost, aren't they? Okay, here's the plan. I am going to grab myself a glass of water, which will take me approximately a minute, and then we're going to go through some irregular ships. The last thing I want to cover are the Varyags. The Varyags are the golden, like, the prize we get for going through everything else. So we're going to look at some irregulars. I'm going to load a whole bunch of them up. I will be, not even a minute, I'll be as fast as I can. We've got a request for Griffins. Throw up some requests for other ships you want to see, and we'll be back as soon as possible. I'm just going to put my Be Right Back sign on, just so that people know what's going on. And I'll be as fast as I can. Just 2 seconds. Alright, I'm back. I can see some terrible puns in chat, which I love. Let's go back to live. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change my capture. Oh, thank you very much, Josh Thompson, if you're on the stream. People are subscribing and it's making me jump, but I love it. Alright, I've just shared my screen with you, so if we quit out of Highfleet, you should see my desktop, which you do. Let's not show you my Steam. So what we're going to do is... I just don't want to show you Steam, and I keep showing you Steam. We're going to check out some more ships to throw in. So we've got, let's get the Sarmas out of here. And let's look at what we've got in phase 3. So we've had some requests for Griffins. So I was basically just going to start at the top and work our way down for phase 3. So I think we're going to go into some Eagles. Yeah, I've got a few different backgrounds that pop up. This is a much more chill one right now. That was the Battletech intro. So Eagles, we've only got 3 Eagles to go through, so we'll get them up. Then we'll look at the one Fat Man that we've got. Then we'll look at the Gladiator MRLs. We've got 35 Gladiator MRLs. We'll leave that for now. We'll maybe do them next. We've got one Grumble, which I really want to look at. And if we're doing the Grumble, we may as well do the Runner as well. People will know what they are when they see them. We had requests for the Griffin. We actually have 8 Griffins, so let's chuck the Griffins in. Next up, we've got... We'll do 2 Hounds. Oh yeah, that's right, I did do the MRLs already. I did them in the last stream. We don't need to do the MRLs. Let's do the Kadeshes. I can't remember what the Kadesh is. That's a prize ship, isn't it? You need to remind me what the Kadesh is. We'll do the Castors. And we will do the Lightnings. Now, some of these ships... Oh, we'll do the Longbows as well. Let's get a full setting going on here. Alright, that's a decent chunk of ships. Okay, now, I might need to be reminded what some of these ships are. I know the Kadesh is a prize ship. Is the Castor a prize ship as well? You want the Lightnings too? Okay, I can throw the Lightnings in. Did I not copy them over? Oh, I copied the Lightning folder. What an idiot. Alright, there's the Lightnings in here too. Yes and yes. Okay, cool. So we've got some prize ships in here too. Let's check this out. Oh, so here's another... People seem to like my desktops. So there's another one. I'm just going to change my capture so you don't see me all tabbing all the time. Awesome. It's a cool project actually turning them into pirate ships. Alright, let's see how this is loaded up. Let's make sure everything is in order. So the Eagles are together, the Fat Man is here, the Griffins look like they're loaded together, the Hounds together, the Kadeshes. It looks like the Lightnings may... Yeah, some of the Lightnings are down here. There's a Griffin down here, a Longbow. I'll need to remember to check that before we move on to a new ship type. Right, let's check out the Eagle. Now the Eagle is a missile ship, if I remember right, that shows up in missile strike groups. Just remind me if I got that wrong. I'll take a sip of water because my throat's getting dry. Yes. Okay, that's Renzus. That's good to know. Missile Group Escort. Yes, that's right. So this is the T4 Watchfull by Comrade, which we have some lore for. Not in this... I've got two different lore documents for you, Comrade. So I need to go between the two of them. So it'll be in the Comrade one. T4 Watchfull. The main sensor array also features a rack of sprinters to defend against missile strikes. So this is designed to be the main sensor array in a missile strike group, rather than whatever it is now. Okay, we've got 3 6 sprints. We've got an IRS-1 Mars and a MR-12 FCR. So it's got a radar range of 228 kilometers. We're not going to worry too much about... those are thick legs. It's an orb. It's an orb of detection with 2 elants as well. The job here is basically it's going to sit in the missile carrier group and it's going to detect me, and it's also got a jammer, which I almost missed. No guns. It doesn't need guns. It's here to detect stuff. A Stumpy Orb of Detection. Up against that is the Expanse from Cygnus. It's Orbin time. Groan. Really? Really? There's so many Morbius jokes on my streams and I've never seen the movies. The Expanse features some of the recycled Tarantul components seen in other Cygnus MTG designs. It seeks to add supplemental bombers to missile-focused tactical groups while still putting up a fight of its own. The Expanse can contribute to the fight with its dual AK-100s, but ideally other ships will do most of the fighting while its bombers chip away the enemy. So, it's better you missed that one, honestly. I'm not planning to watch it, just that it keeps coming up. It might be power, yeah. And IRC does cost more. I trust Comrade to have built this within the budget requirements of an Eagle. I'll have to check it later, but that's probably what's come up to it. Let's check out the Expanse, which is an option. Ooh. So the Expanse is an Eagle with 2 LA-29 strike craft and 2 AK-100s. No detection at all. 485 kilometers per hour is very fast again for a ship with no side-mounted engines. Price is 9650. Let's compare that to the T4 Watchfull. 19220. So we're looking at around 19220 for our costs here. But this is the Expanse, which has no sensors, but it has an armament and planes. So that means strike groups with missiles and aircraft. Exactly, Canada Dry Can. That's a little bit scary. We've also got the Walrus from Silent Snack. Silent Snack says about the Walrus nothing, because their thing is for the Vega. That's okay. Let's check out the whoa. Okay. Well, the idea behind this is very clear. This is here to extend the range of a strike group. The voting for these is going to be very interesting because only the 3 to pick for. I think I might put the original one on the vote as well, just to see how that compares. But this is this is going to make that strike group go way far at 1,500 kilometer range. Those missile carrier groups are no longer going to be stuck in cities not doing very much, are they? Those are all three of these propositions that have come forward for Eagles are all scary. Awesome. Great. I'm terrified. Let me just check if there isn't a fourth Eagle at the bottom. Lightning, Lightning, Grumble, Griffin, Longbow, Runner. No, there's not another Eagle. So these are our 3 Eagles. Yeah, 30% of the map, easily. I get what you're going for, and I can't say I love you for it, but thank you so much for giving this option. All of these, thank you all of you for giving these options to the community. They can either ruin me with airplanes while I'm trying to defend with missiles. They can ruin me by trying to get me, by chasing me around and never letting me get lost. Or they can just chase me around forever with all of the fuel in the world. Thank you so much. Okay, let's have a look at the one Fat Man. So let's just remind ourselves what the default Fat Man looks like. The default Fat Man is a ship that I always hate to get. Oh, thanks for Funky. Thanks for hanging around. I'll give you a shout if we hit any of your ships in the stream. We've got 4 Zeniths in a very, very slow, very unmaneuverable chassis. Let's have a look at the Sumo by SWB, which we have a little bit of lore for. The Super Corvette variant has replaced the Fat Man among private fleets in the Kievan area. Just as slow as cumbersome, it packs a far greater punch and an extended range. Pilots are careful to know that the underbelly of the ship is completely undefended, and letting an enemy underneath it means certain death. Likewise, the anemic moving thruster means the single-added flare launcher gets a lot of use in AMS. Alright, let's check it out. Yes. An AA ship without sprints. Well, it's more for detecting the enemy. Oof, 3 D80 mullets on a Fat Man. And there's the sprint launcher, the cannon sprint launcher. That's pretty scary. Now that's a Fat Man that I can be worried about. Doesn't matter, that's not very maneuverable. It's just gonna dink away at you, isn't it? Alright, well there's our option for Fat Man. I'll put that up as an option for the vote, and probably put it up against a normal Fat Man. But it's pretty much gonna win because it's the only thing that's been submitted for Fat Man. Alright, next up we're on to Griffins. I think we've got a Griffin down here, so we're gonna load it first. The Griffin Fat Man is something I will get, yeah, so this puts it as an option for me to buy in town. I don't really think you see many Fat Men in enemy garrisons. It also shows up at the end of the game when the Tarkans give you ships. You can't often get Fat Men. We've got the close call from Sunny, or Kumwat. It's not in this list, which means it must be in the other list. What was it called again? The close call. Series 2 Task Force, the Shogun with 3 ships, the big tactical aircraft groups in game. Hound, Longbow. Kadesh Mk1, Pollux, Castor, Runner, Grumble. I can't see anything for this one. Let me check the other file again. Tarantul, Mira'ella, Kalacta, Close Calls. Part of the Strike Fleet. Okay, it's just these garrison ships. Yeah, you don't have law for it. You just call it. Make sure. All you've got in the text file I've got here, Sunny, is it just says Strike Fleet, Griffin, Sunny, Close Call. I think you're just making sure I got the names right. Let's check that out. Ooh, so this is a Griffin replacement from you. We've got 2 Mark II 180 Sarmats with excellent coverage above the fuel tanks. It mounts 2 KH-15N nukes, which the strike fleets will use, as far as I'm aware. It's got a full FCR with guidance of 2, so of the 8 sprints, you can fire 2 at a time. Also mounted on top of armor, meaning it's very well protected. It is actually incredibly well protected. Big, nice, solid legs. I like to see that on a big ship. No Palash, but where could you fit it in with everything else? Exactly. That's this fleet. This bridge is never getting sniped, is it? What may happen behind the triple layer of armor here is you could detonate one of these ammunition box. Is there a nuclear capable stam? Well, the nuclear capable thing is actually a bit of a weird thing because the AI will only fire conventional missiles until nuclear war is declared. So they'll just be act as normal KH-15s until then. But I get the idea is this is going to ruin your day with nukes at some point in the game. Fair enough, Sifrin, it can't shoot straight down. That is a weakness of the Griffin. But it's a pretty scary build. Yeah, the AI does use Schrodinger's warheads. You're right. This is a very heavily protected version of the Griffin. Let's check out what our other Griffin entries are like. We've got the Seraph Mod 1 from MrNathan101, which I have lore for. Aquila, Falco, Urgan, Kirov, Crossbow, Prophet, Seraph Mod 1. A scaled-down version of the Seraph. It boasts similar performance in a smaller package, designed as a versatile support carrier, capable of performing different tasks as task force will need. Let me load it up and I'll go through the stats. Oof. Same problem. Oh no, not quite the same problem. But we've got 4 130mm D80 Mullets, 2 37mm 2A37s, 4 Zeniths, 6 R9 Sprints, and 2 KH-15 cruise missiles, and 4 Palish APS. Based out of the Seraph, a strategic general-purpose cruiser, the need for a more affordable cruiser was put in place after demand for a Griffin replacement was announced. Switching the Seraph's 180mm guns for lighter 130mm guns, and the large early warning radar for a large fire control radar allowed for massive cost reductions. Being a smaller Seraph, it also benefited from a speed increase from all the weight reductions, allowing for a more versatile speedy option over the more durable, harder-hitting parent design. Overall, a major success of a design, all thanks to teachings of the collaboration between Netco and the Legatus Design Bureau. Yeah, they're both currently nuclear into the detonate, that's right. And they can change in midair, as you are completely right, we found out, as a missile turned into a nuke just as it was about to hit Kiva and almost killed all of Kiva. Solid coverage, but flammable main engines. That's probably a pretty good summary, Strawman. So we've got good coverage on the Mullets. These ones can fire straight down if you get below it. Reasonably well protected on the lower engines, but they are big engines. There's a big gap there to fire through. We do have the FCR up here and an Elant module, 6 sprints, and as I mentioned, 2 KH-15. So it's got a little bit of everything, which being in a strike group is probably a good thing to have a ship. We also have 4 Zeniths as well, as I mentioned, a little bit of everything. It's just going to be part of that strike group and do a lot of damage over time. It kind of fits the same profile as a Bore and a Griffin as well, which is quite cool to see. There's also the Seraph Mod 2, which I will load up. The Seraph Mod 2, I don't know if I have lore for. S-Stock Mark II. Seraph Mod 2, I do have lore for it. The anti-air version of the Seraph class cruiser family, boasting multiple sprints for anti-air duties, with its onboard weaponry more than capable of spewing enough lead to cover the sky. As a more specialized version, it does lose out on Palish protection found in the previous version, but retains the armor scheme for a lower price tag. 4 D80 Mullets, 2 Zeniths, 10 sprints. The Seraph was a successful design, hailing its roots from studying Bore and Griffin designs. Its key features are the high survivability from its strong armor design alongside the Palish placement, although studies have now shown how vulnerable the design is to airstrikes. Mod 2 modified the Seraph design for anti-air work without sacrificing firepower and armor protection, although the loss of this Palish was saddening. Seraph was a choice of name mainly as a direct correlation to the Griffin. Seraph is a mythical creature, more of a mythical high angel believed by Central Asian and Middle Eastern cultures. Griffin was also the same, a mythical creature believed by Central Asian and Middle Eastern countries. With such resemblance and similar roles, she was given the name Seraph. As it was the second modified variant, she hereby got the Seraph Mod 2. Where are the sticky FCRs? Oh, I see them. You'll see them when things get moving. There's an FCR upside down here, and another one here, giving it tracking of 2. We've got how many? We've got 10 sprints built in here as well. 2 KH-15s. We've got a light range 500 kilometer radar. The full Elant again. Same armament of the D80 Mullets as well. Pretty good. I think this is a pretty good entry, honestly. For the anti-air deterrence is pretty large with this build. I do like the escape pod antenna. What's the launch escape pods button again? Is it F? No. Yeah, it has 10 sprints. There's another 2 up here at the top. T. Keep an eye on the radar, everybody. Watch the radar closely. Watch that radar on top of the ship. You can't quite see it. I'm going to launch the escape pods now. Oh! That doesn't usually happen when you launch. When you launch. The radar is still there. I can still see the radar on the top of the ship. Okay, I wanted to see if the launching the sprint detached the radar, but it seemed like it didn't. However, the whole ship exploded, which I don't think normally happens when you abandon ship. Anyway, that was quite fun. Okay, after the Seraph Mod 2, we've got the Valkyrie from Shogun. Okay, so I didn't realize that. So let's check out from Shogun. Do you have any lore for that? We do. The Valkyrie. Tempest, Tyrant, Valkyrie. The Gathering needed a modular ship that could replace and surpass the Griffin in combat while having a similar cost per unit. With this need, the Valkyrie class cruiser was born. The Governor hired a redacted company, and that's actually redacted by them, to design and manufacture the ship. It is said the company is actually run by a retired Tarkhan. The Valkyrie features a prominent twin RD-51 engines for fixed thrust and 2 HK-25s for maneuvering. It is heavily armored due to being preferably a side fighter, and has 2 Palish APS systems to defend its upper vulnerable axis and its FCR sensor. So side fighter design. Ooh, it's another big heart. It does have like an FCR turret with, it has flares. I thought those were Palash, but they are actually flares. It kind of looks like there's Palash in there, but there's not. Do we have Palash? It says there is Palash in the build. Yes, there's 2 Palash mounted here, just to cover the top of the build. We've got 4 sprints, we've got 2 AK-100s with almost full coverage, and 4 D80 Molots with a lot of top and side coverage, but not so much firing downwards. Kind of has the same Griffin vulnerability that people were talking about, with especially Sifrin, with just not being able to shoot at things below it, which is an issue with ships using large fuel tanks. All in all, cool design. Lots of firepower here. If you get above this ship, you're in a lot of trouble. Yeah, it's anti-airstrike Palash, exactly. And to stop this getting bombed off. And there's also just some holes in the hull. There's actually some Zeniths in here as well. Just 2 little Zeniths hidden in some reinforced armor. You maybe got to route into the bridge from the sides here, but it's going to be hard to do because you're going to get hit by all of these guns if you're above it to do that. Could actually be a trap putting the bridge here, like deliberately putting it here to get the enemy to fly above, where it's going to take the fire from those 4 Molots and 2 AK-100s. Next up, we've got the Rusalka from Strawman, which is a pretty scary creature. This is all lore for their Nomad replacement, though, so let's check out the Rusalka. The Rusalka, we're seeing a lot of very similar designs and weapons on these ships. This has 1, 2, 3, 4 Molots, so it's got full coverage of Molots all the way around. 2 A37s. We've got another detector bridge at the top here. 2 KH-15s. No sprints on this one, even though it has an FCR, which is always a bit of a shame. It's always nice to see that that those sprints on there if you can fit them in. I'm just checking for Palash. We have Palash protecting the engine down here. 2 Palash at the bottom, which is very nicely put in there, actually. Very well mounted. Top speed of 205 kilometers per hour. Cool. It is a stripped down Vega. That's awesome. This looks like it's pretty bulky and will last a while, and the coverage you've got means there's no direction that you can attack it from where you will be safe. The bridge also looks pretty well protected, quite deep in the hull as well. And yeah, 205 kilometers isn't bad at all for a ship this big. All right, next up we've got the Dyna from Zootopia X Dyna. Is that right? That seems like not the right name. I don't have any lore for you, Dyna. I'm trying something for Zootopia. No, let's have a look at the ship. Wow. All right, we've got 6 Palash, so 6 sprints. We've got 2 A100 missiles in Deep Heresy on both sides. So 2 A100s Deep Heresy. Zootopia's named Dynascript. That's why I assume it's just laid out a bit funny. Look at this Heresy up here. It is nasty but cool because they've managed to fit the missiles inside this hull component that makes them look like launchers. But they've also managed to get Zeniths to launch behind an armor plate. We've got an FCR up here for the sprints. We've got, I'm guessing these are full coverage, they do, 2 AK-100s and 2 DA-30 Molots with full coverage as well. They've used flight decks here for a cool landing. Many techniques from Zootopia were used here. Ah, okay. It's just meant to be my improved Griffin. Got you. Oh, those are my extremely heretical RTs. This is cool. Like, it's heretical but cool. I really like it. Is this older game version Heresy? Is that how you got it in here, Dyna? Is it older game reloads? Will those Zeniths hit the FCR? Let's have a quick test. I bet money they will not. Nope, they don't. They launch fine, no problems at all. No problems at all with those Zeniths launching. They launch with no issues. 199 kilometers per hour, huge range. Because technically these missiles are elevated above everything. SS-13 Sec Main. So it's above the armor. Like, you used to be able to put thrusters above armor, is what they've done, which is really impressive. I don't know if you've noticed yet, but there are 2 RD-51 engines inside the hull of the ship that also are able to thrust from here. It's pretty broke. Very powerful indeed. And we've got armor gaps and stuff like that. And we haven't even talked about the A100s sharing a block almost with each other, or a block and a half. There's a lot of heresy in here. It looks cool. Extra props Dyna. I really like the Zeniths inside these launchers. That just looks really cool. Well done with that. All right, let's have a look at the next Griffin, which is the Babylon from Nickname Toms, which I also have lore for. No, I don't. Okay, let's load that up. By the way, if you've submitted lore for your ship and I miss it, I apologize profusely. There's just a lot going on. Oof. Okay, we've got 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8 AK-100s on this build. Not all of them can fire at the same time, but that is a lot of AK-100. We have 4 KH-15s. Yeah, 4 KH-15s, 2 launch upwards, 2 launch downwards. We've got an FCR and Eland, but there's no sprints on the build. Do we have any Palash? I think the voting for these is going to be quite tricky. Yes, we have 4 Palash on the build as well. So this is another ship with a lot of firepower, a lot of armor. 8 AK-100s is a lot of DACA. I don't think there's any position where you'll be able to be hit by all of them, except maybe if you're quite far above it, they'll all be able to hit you. But this is a scary build. Probably the biggest weakness, if it has a weakness, is the sort of corset lower chest area here where the hull comes in, because you could probably get some AP rounds through that into the fuel tank to catch fire to it. But I think that would be pretty hard to do, and they have considered that. There's a lot of FSS around the fuel tank to put that out. Last, or I don't know if it's last, but next, last but not least, we have the BADC Formula N from Silent Snack. Let's see who got lore for that. I do think I've got some stuff from Silent Snack. No, not for this ship, no. They've got their Uselid is the only one they've given me lore for. So this is the Silent Snack. Sometimes I have to like restart my brain when I see these ships to get my head around it. So this has 4 KH-15s in specialized launch bays. It has 4 sprints. I think it's only 4 sprints. There's an upside down FCR here and another FCR down here. So there's guidance of 1 though. That's because that's a Mars down there. Big Lozers fuel tank, another fuel tank. Where's the bridge? Bridge is here. It has so many FSS. I feel like the FSSs are here just to I struggle. I really struggle to have words for some of these builds. I love the small crew quarters that make up half of the launch bays for these missiles. Top speed of 335 kilometers per hour. 2D8. Let's talk about the armament for a second. It's got 2 D80 Molots and 237mm with full coverage because they're so heavily extended over the hull of the ship. Obviously a side fighter. It's gonna suffer a little bit from attack from below or above. Anti-incendiary indeed. There's so much anti-incendiary on this ship. It's almost all anti-incendiary. Silent Snack, you break my brain with these ships. Yeah, Jimmy sleeps in his crew quarters. No, his cabin is warmed by the nuclear warhead. And that's the whole thing. When Garrett gets cold and everyone's freezing, you don't have to worry about that if you are on the BADC Formula N. I get it because it's an N, right? It's an N with the fuel tanks and the thrusters. Because you'll be nice and warm. Also, there's this just one random RD-59 off to the side, making it lopsided in terms of its thrust as well. Meaning landing this will be very difficult. Which means I have to test that. God, it's huge. I can't. I don't know where I need to land it here.
300 meters.
I can't land it. I might be able to get it on this 10 if we're lucky.
100 meters. Throwing it ready.
Don't think we're going to be able to do this.
Touchdown confirmed.
I came down too hard.
Structural damage received.
Ooh, that was so hard to land.
A generator has been destroyed.
I tried to escape pods. Yeah. It's going to go boom. It's just being eaten by the spaceport. Oof. Okay, let's not do that again. That is your other option for a Griffin. Okay, those are all of our Griffins. Next up, we're having a look at the Hounds. There are 2 Hounds. So again, Comrade has provided a tanker for a strike fleet. So the Hound is a first to land on the custom ships. Yeah, I've been very bad at my landings, haven't I? So this is another. The Hound is another escort ship for missile fleets. Am I right? And this is another refueler for it. Hey Derp. Oh, you only just got the Discord notification. Well, you made it to the stream. We're into some weird ships at the moment. So this is another fuel tank for Hound is a missile carrier Zenith boat, right? And it is an escort. So here is being replaced by a massive fuel tank to give it further. Do it, Neutron. Just fire it to me on Discord. We'll see if we can stick it in. crazy. Okay, there's not much to say. It is a massive tanker to get the garrison out further. There's also the Sonorous from Cygnus. Pillar, Rampart, Ardor, Sonorous. The design of the Cygnus fully appreciates the DACA the AK-100 puts out. The Sonorous has 4. The Sonorous has strong bones built up from surplus or damaged Tarantul frames. It was intended to defend missile tactical groups from Romani retaliation, but accidentally found commercial success in the hands of Grati pirates. Beloved for its high speed, long range ease of custom mobility, and interoperability with older Tarantul parts, and of course its compelling price. So yeah, the Hound is an escort ship for strike fleets as far as I'm aware, and it usually, as people are saying in chat, has triple Molot, or yeah, and no Zeniths. 2 Zeniths. 2 Zeniths? Okay, 2 Zeniths. This is another option for the Hound if you don't want to go for the extra fuel for the strike fleet. You've got 4 AK-100s and Palash on 475 kilometers per hour, very fast. Whew. Some of these ships I am struggling with as well, Derp 123, because they are very specialized and don't come up that often. A lot of these ships get destroyed by bombing runs by me and I never get to fight them. So this is your other option. You've got the fuel tank option or you've got the DACA option. And honestly, this is a lot of firepower to add on to a strike fleet. If these have prox fuse, it adds it to the anti-air roll as well. Very compact little design, very cool. I like that a lot. Those are our 2 Hound replacement options. Next up, we have some options for Kadeshes. And if I remember, the Kadesh is a prize ship? Yes, it's a prize ship. Never seen AI load procs against airstrikes. It does it for you if you've got procs in your inventory, but I'm not sure about for the AI. Kadesh Mark 1, the TM Rainer. This ship used to be a cargo hauler, however now its main purpose is to fire explosives to the front lines. It can drop its payload at any time and flee if it feels threatened by enemy combatants. So I believe some people have made these prize ships as kind of like extra challenges for me if they come up in combat. Case in point. It has... I think all trade ships have this radar tower, which gives it radar. So people will submit ships not be used by the AI for me to be given or find. I don't even want to count how many bombs there are here. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 38, 42, 46. Is that 48 bombs? Did I count that right? It's a radio tower. Okay. I mean... I want to try this. I just want to launch all these bombs. See if it blows up, if I do. I'm just clicking the launch bomb button. Still launching bombs. It's my middle mouse button, which is why the screen's flashing. Still launching bombs. Okay, that's all the bombs launched. That's a lot of explosions. Wow. Okay, that was fun. So there's your option for one of the prize ships. Top speed of 147 kilometers per hour. So it's actually pretty fast as well. Apparently has 52 firepower. Okay, next up we have for Kadesh option. We have the Acadia by SWB. That's our only other Kadesh submission. The Acadia, a slow carrier frigate, raw harassment, enough planes to put out a moderate strike. So they're giving prize ships planes now. The Garati handshake. Yep, this is a prize ship with planes. It has 4 T7s. I did indeed commit preoperative orbital bombardment on that town. That town is gone. 4 T7s on a prize ship. If you do this to me, if you vote for this ship and have it in the game, I can accept the bomber, right? That's hilarious. This is potentially too punishing. But the vote is up to you. Bear in mind that I may not get very far through the campaign if you do something like this to me. This is evil. This is actually evil. Next up, we're going to look at the Castors, which is another set of prize ships. So we've got the TM Freight from Comrade, which I've decided I closed the lore for. Give me 1 second. Let's take the other one. From Sunny. So the TM Freight, I'm loving these by the way. Even when I'm saying they're evil. Oh no, it must be the other Kadesh, Pollux, Castor. This ship hasn't changed all that much from its original posh purpose being a fuel transport truck. Okay, let's check this out. Yeah, cruelty vote indeed. Yeah, a ship so scary the trade convoys will no longer run from you. This is a fuel tanker. Oh, I like the design. I really like this. It's a truck train. This is cool. This is great. I love this. You've got your cab at the front. You know, with the flag big rig will be. So this is maybe an Australia only thing, but Australia has road trains where they hitch up 2 or 3 trailers to a truck and just drive across the country rather than putting them on train tracks. And that's what this makes me think of. This is like a sky train / road train situation more than I guess it's the same as a train, but it just makes me think of a road train. This is cute as hell. Oh, I've got to grab Ensign Foil sailboats. I didn't grab those. I need to put them in too. Ensign Foil has made sailboat versions of all these as well. I can't believe I forgot to include them. Give me 1 second while I grab them and re-add them in here, because I can't believe I haven't included them. It's just not fair. Ensign Foil. Oh, where are they? That's the problem. Can't remember where they put them. No. They didn't send them to me in a direct message, did they? No, they didn't. Oh, I'm really sad. They've gone to all the problem of making them. Let me just see if I can... Can anyone find them on the Discord and ping me a link to them? Because I want to make sure they're included. This is also very fast. That's a really good point, Sifrin. No, sorry, Vincent Weber. Yeah, and Sifrin as well. 442 kilometers per hour on this thing. You found it, Sifrin? Awesome. Let me just kill my search. Campaign 3 prep. Yes, I've got them. Thank you so much. Let me quickly download these and I'll add them in. Give me 2 seconds. I'll just put them straight into my Highfleet folder. Steam. Actually, I've got a shortcut on my desktop. Highfleet ships. That's the Kadesh Mark 1. That's the Castor. And I'll put the Pollux in the Pollux folder. So sorry about the delay, everybody. I just remembered that I thought I'd found everything, but then remembered that Ensign Sack had made specifically a whole set of prize ships for me, which is so cool. So we'll just save that into the Pollux folder. Okay, give me 2 seconds to restart Highfleet so it picks up those ships. This is going to get funny when I close the game, because you're not going to see my cool desktop. Let's just reload it. Thank you so much, Sifrin, and also thank you so much to... who was the other person who pinged me? Many-headed Mishaps as well. Thank you both so much for finding those for me. I couldn't find them when I was searching for them. Alright, you should be able to see Highfleet again. You can't. Let me fix that. There you go. And now let's have a look at the other submissions. So we also have the Windy Lady. So for the Kadesh, we have the Windy Lady. Ensign Foil. You can't do that to me. 1, 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. 15 Zeniths in your 350 kilometer per hour ship with a radar. So that's their Kadesh offering. There's also a Castor offering, which is the same ship. It's the same ship. It has the Zeniths and it has the radar. That's mean. That's so mean. The Windy Lady 2. All right, we also have the Thanatos. I believe it's what it's called from SWB. It looks like it might have been cut off. It might be the Thanato. I don't know if it'll work without the trade ship radio tower. We'd have to confirm that. Hypnos, Iliad, Thanatos. Yeah, this is supposed to be a Thanatos. A slow heavy frigate, roll Q ship, easily shot down but difficult to deal with if left alive for bounty. So this is a ship that's supposed to be very difficult to leave in the combat for a long time. Okay, 4 AK-100s and Palash. These are all so evil. So evil, these ships. No armor, so it's very easy to shoot down once you get through that Palash. So it's going to be annoying during a fight and easy to break. The battle box. Battle box that doesn't really have much armor. People really want to see me suffer, don't they? I think it might be tied to the save file as well, but we'll do some testing, depending which one gets in, because this one hasn't got any tower at all. Alright, that is all of our prize ships. There's still the Pollux to go through, but we're not going to go through that right now. So after the Castors and the Kadeshes, anything down here actually before I move on? Longbow, Runner, Griffin, Grumble, Lightning. Oh, okay. After that, we're going to look at the Lightnings. Now, everybody knows and loves the Lightning. Honestly, the Lightning might be my favorite ship in Highfleet, at least my favorite vanilla ship, just because I love the bottom left AK 100 is not aligned. That's just not good enough. The bottom left one. I'm not sure what you mean. It looks like it should be fine. With the top. No, they're not. Oh, yeah, they're not. They're a half block out on both sides. The right one isn't either. The bottom is wider than the top. It's not a straight box. Yeah, it's further out. Anyway, the Lightning. Might be my favorite ship in Highfleet because it's the ship that made me understand the game, or at least get me to play the game the way I play it. I don't understand, Renzus. Can you explain? Let's go back. I can't quite see what you're referring to here. It's not in line with the gun atop. The left bottom AK-100 is further out than the right one in relation to the top ones. So the bottom one is in line. If I check this with here. So that's the line there for this one. I think they match up. I think they match up. I can't see it. It's an optical illusion. You know what it is? It's probably the shadows. It's the shadows. I always find that with the shadows for things on other sides of the ships. Okay. The janky build of the ship. It is a janky ship. It's designed to be killed, which is annoying. Alright. Lightnings. As I was saying, Lightnings are my favorite ships in the game. They're cheap, they're fast, and they got me to play Highfleet the way I play it, which I really enjoy. So I'm really excited to see what people have for their Lightning submissions. We're going to start off with the ones down here so they don't get lost. Now, a random tank has submitted 2 Lightnings, and they have not given me any lore for them. So let's start off with the Arcutans from a random tank. It's an aircraft carrier. I'm here like getting really excited to see some really fast little brawly interceptors. Nope, he's giving me a 500 km/h aircraft carrier. I think it might almost outspeed the planes that it carries. I can't remember how fast the LA-29 goes, but I think it's somewhere around 500 km/h. Yes, I did actually put my head in my hands there. 600, so it's almost as fast as the planes that it carries. It's also got flares. No, it's got sprints. It's got sprints as well. Yeah, I did actually facepalm there. Yep, it is a lightning-sized and costed aircraft carrier. It's actually terrifying. It's actually really scary. Your lightning submission is even faster. I can't wait to see it. Who you submit under Canada Dry Can? There's also the Fulgur. Okay, the Fulgur is a lightning. It has 705 km/h top speed. We have 2 AK-100s, and that is it. Fuel, everything else is just as standard. The one plane needs to be turned. Which one was that? Oh, because it's facing inwards. Is that better? Also, what we could do is sitting there. Yeah, that's symmetrical. Is that better? And it's got 2 AK-100s, yeah. So that's it. Nice and fast. Very fast, 700 km/h. Maneuverable, it's got the guns. This is just a lightning taken to the extreme without the exposed bridge. Yes, good point. Well pointed out, Sifrin. The bridge is no longer here, it's down here. Though we do have an almost exposed fuel tank instead. Our other lightning submissions are the Tempest from Shogun. Let's just check their lore. The Tempest is an extremely fast and nimble ship with great range and armament, but lacks armor. In the hands of a skilled pilot can defeat the mightiest of ships with this dual K100. It's extremely good at killing garrison ships and trade ship escorts, the best interceptor Garrett has ever seen. Alright, let's see how fast this thing is. The current record is 705 kilometers per hour. This one, 712, and it's really compact. Very tight shape. Great central. I like AK-100s when they're next to each other like this because the weapon convergence is really tight, and I don't miss as often with them. We've got a thrust ratio of 7.9, which I think beats out the Fulcrum. The Fulgur. 705 and 4, yeah. Was the thrust to weight ratio there? 7.8. So it just beats it. If they've pushed it just a little bit further. Are we in a race to see what the fastest lightning is now? Where are my lightnings? Here it is. This is the Tempest. Range of 1,312. That's an insane range for a ship like this, actually. I always struggle with range on my lightning builds. But both the Fulgur and the what's this called again? The Tempest have fantastic ranges on them. Wow. Fast, long range, and the 2K100 is exactly what we want to see. We also have the Sarpo from Comrade Jello, which he hasn't given me any lore for, but that's fine. Let's check it out. They got a Mark 1 180 on a ship that does 766 kilometers per hour. This also has an FCR. Does it have sprints, or does it just have the FCR? It has one sprint. It has a D80 Mola. It has a 180mm cannon and a sprint on a chassis that goes 766 kilometers per hour. Imagine being ordered, like you've just graduated from the Naval Academy. You're a midshipman or you're a young rating, and you get sent and deployed to this. I can't believe it's got an FCR and a sprint on it. Okay, we've also got the Sand Skimmer class from Kega, which I believe is themed on... Yes, it is. It is themed on Deserts of Carrick. So the Summit class Sand Skimmer is a Kithgalsian counterpart to the Romani Empire's Lightning. It is a high-speed, nimble, and lightly armed corvette, particularly suited for hit-and-run raids. Gaussian forces have always employed light, very fast attack craft in both recon and harassment roles. The current iteration of the Gaussian Sand Skimmer has been codenamed the Samt, after the sidestepping swarmer insects of the dry seas. The vehicle performs its task with a deadly flesh-stripping efficiency of its namesake. Armed with light autocannons and relatively thin-skinned for the combat vehicle, the Samt can be especially deadly in swarms, whereas we'd observe to boost its rate of fire to the level where it becomes a serious threat to larger, lightly armed units. I wonder if veteran lightning pilots are actually just uploaded consciousnesses, because there's no way they can stay alive. All crew was stapping before maneuvers indeed. The slew rate on the 180 is slow, Daryl, and that is why I do not use it on my fast ships, because I cannot track fast enough with them. It's why I like the Mullet and the AK-100, because the turrets turn nice and fast for me. Oh, cool. So 280 Mullet, 729 kilometers per hour, still very fast. 8.1 thrust ratio. That might be the best thrust ratio, actually. 8.5. No, the other one has a better thrust ratio. But still, these are all very fast. 2 AK-100s. I like this armament better, I have to say. But the 180mm is scary. I think veteran lightning pilots might be an oxymoron. Hey, Kipp. No worries. How's it going? Good to see you. Yeah. All these lightnings are, apart from that one cursed lightning that I'm not going to bring up again that totally didn't make me facepalm, all of these lightnings are exactly what I was hoping to see. Fast as hell. They cut to the bone in terms of what they can do, and armed to the teeth. They are awesome. Thank you all for submitting me some lightnings. Bear in mind that these will pop up in the campaign for me to buy, so I might actually grab some at some point. I'm trying to get through them all, Kipp, because there's still a lot to go through. Okay, next up we're going to go through the longbows. We've got the Clacta here from Cumwat or Sunny. Let me just quickly pull up the lore or the roll for the longbow. It just says Airplane Fleet Clacta. Okay. And they can appear in garrisons rarely, you're right. Okay, the Clacta looks like a gun that shoots planes. Let's get rid of the LA-29s, right? Everyone in the community kind of agrees that LA-29s, if you have to take planes, you just take T7s. So we've got, what, 8 T7s on this plane thing? We've got radar, we've got IRS, we've got escape pods. They've gotten rid of the armor, which you don't need a long gun. We've gotten rid of the guns, which you don't need a longbow. It is a flying ship that launches planes. I like the control tower that you've got going on here. This is cool. There's our baseline, 3,692 kilometer range, top speed of 160 kilometers. That is our longbow baseline. From come on, let's check out the other longbows. So we've got the T4 carrier from Come On as well, which is on this document here, I think. This is part of a task force. The T4 carrier is a simple flat dish of as many planes as you can possibly stuff on an aircraft carrier. Ooh. Don't read the lore for this one? Oh, I'm sorry. I did read the lore. You did it. You added more planes. Oh my god. This has 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 T7s. Oh, you made an oopsie for it. Oh, what's the oopsie? Oh, do you know what to say? I understand you know what to say. 123 kilometers per hour, range of 1,900 kilometers. That is a lot of very scary planes. I should not have opened up submissions for these vehicles because they are punishing. So many planes. Wow. Well done for getting that many planes into the budget. Yeah, incremental deconstruction of the carrier concept indeed. Oh, its name doesn't make sense. Okay. The T4 carrier, right. Okay. Next up, we've got the Majestic V and the Majestic from Arutha. I'm guessing we want to take the Majestic before we take the Majestic 5. So here is the Majestic. Oh, that's right. I actually really like these ships. Arutha ships include little role-playing elements like the loading crane for the planes here. So we've got 3 T7 multi-purpose, and we've got 5 LA-29s. They also have these really cool 45-degree angled thrusters, which look amazing when the ship is firing them in combat. It just looks like an aircraft carrier. I love the crane so much. What's extra cool is if you watch, you might not catch it, but if we do a landing test, you could actually see the crane deploy. I watched it happen at the top, but the crane actually deploys. I'm not going to try and land it. The crane will actually deploy out, which looks really, really cool. The landing gear crane is one of the best features. I love it so much. I also like this bridge construction. It even has 2 AK-100s just because. Cool ship. So that's the Majestic. We also have the Majestic 5. What does this get rid of? Oh, it gets rid of the 45-degree angle thrusters, which honestly I don't have a problem with. They're based on World War II and World War I carriers. Cool. The landing gear crane is the coolest thing. All right, so that's the Majestic and the Majestic 5. Next we've got the Stormhawk 2 from Hekkura. There's a lot of ships from Hekkura. There you go. A dedicated fleet carrier design that arose due to dissatisfaction with the longbow, the Stormhawk utilizes secondary tier flight decks, an RD-51 thruster, and replaces the 37mm Seaways with a cheaper, more proven 100mm flak. The air group has been replaced entirely with supersonic multi-role crafts, with the extra flight deck allowing redacted. You'll be happy to know, QM, that you still have the record, as they haven't beaten it with the ship. At the same time, the critical weak points on the longbow and the engine nacelles are eliminated, making the Stormhawk at least a credible threat in close combat when combined with the new armament. Bonus, the radio mast kind of doubles as a small support strut, visually for the second tier flight deck. A nice little visual effect I discovered with the radio mast. Interesting. So let's check out the Stormhawk 2. Oh yeah, it does. So they're talking about how the radio antenna here looks like it's holding up the edge of the deck. So there's 9 T7s on here, which doesn't beat your 10 T7s that you have, Sunny. We also have 2 AK-100s with pretty reasonable coverage. It's too late to pull out for us. It is far too late, Derp. I am in big trouble. But if you want to give me 9 T7s instead of 10, well, here's your option. This ship does look like it take a little bit more of a beating than the other one. This is pretty cool. 229 kilometers per hour, 2,000 kilometer range, which is pretty nice. All in all, this is another great submission. Let's have a look at the mishaps. Sorry, the Scylla from Many-Headed Mishaps. I'm not sure, Kipp. Yeah, I think you're right. 9 might actually be a perfect number. So next up, we've got the Scylla, or the Scylla. After the success of the Kievan Rebellion, the Gathering had to deal with numerous hidden cities, small uprisings, and little pirate gangs. With few exceptions, the troublesome vessels were small, scattered, numerous, and difficult to find. Large cruisers were not available in numbers sufficient to hunt down each and every rogue corvette, and smaller ships were too vulnerable to lose or capture. Thus, the Gathering put a call out for ship design specifically to hunt down errant small ships. The Scylla class was one of the resultant designs, a medium-sized fleet carrier designed with long-range and powerful search radar to locate targets. The safety and strategic radius of an airstrike made carriers ideal for protecting whole regions from gatherings various problems, and several aircraft carrier groups were strategically placed around Garrett to deal with the issues. So this is a medium range. Yeah, sorry about making everyone yawn. We will be ending the stream after I've gone through the ships we have here. So the longbows are after the longbows, we've got to have a quick look at the Grumble and the Runner. Trust me, they're worth hanging around for. Even though I haven't seen them yet, I know what they are. But let's have a look at the Scylla. Cute, I love it. I love the asymmetric design on these ships for many have been mishaps. We've got 4 T7s and 4 LA-29s with their own flight decks. We've got support structs for the extended deck up here with the large radar. Actually, really well protected bridge for what the ship is. No armament, but doesn't need it. Actually, it probably does have a gun. Oh yeah, that's a 57mm, of course. This is really cool. I love to see all of Mishap's ships in a fleet together with their forward back design. That'll look really, really cool. All right, next up we've got the crossbow from MrNathan101. The crossbow, Aquila, P. Falco, Uragan. Yon's being viral is a very weird thing. The crossbow, class aircraft carrier. A relatively light ship designed to be a fully dedicated aircraft carrier alternative to the longbow. The addition of a mast, by the way, I like the naming convention. The addition of a mast allows the mounting of sensor equipment to further enhance its situational awareness, while a larger air wing complement allows for a more deadly airstrike. All of these offensive capabilities come at a severe cost of its defensive capabilities, being forced to run at a crawling speed and no weapons or armor to protect itself from precarious situations. We've got 10 LA-29 bombers and 2 T-7 fighter interceptors. So technically, this ship has a larger armament than Sunny's because it has... Oh no, it's 10 LA-29s. Okay, it's 10 LA-29s, 2 T-7. So it has more planes, but less big planes. That's a good point, Derek. Maybe we'll do that as well. We've got a jammer here, as well as ELINT and radar, so it's got good detection as well as the plane decks. There's not a lot to talk about with the carriers, apart from like how they look and what they've got on them in terms of planes. So I know I'm going through them quite fast, but it's not that I don't like them or anything. They are all very cool. Top speed of 90 kilometers per hour. That is pretty slow. Range 21,049. I think 90 kilometers per hour is the slowest a ship can be and still fly in this game. Alright, next up we've got the Dragoon from Shogun. Valkyrie, Tempest, Tyrant, Snakehead, Overlord, Valkyrie. I haven't got any lore for the Dragoon, but let's check it out. Very similar design to what we just saw. We've got the same kind of mass. We've got radar and ELINT. We've got 2 T7s and 10 LA-29s. Interesting that they're very similar packages. 126 kilometers per hour and a longer range mean this wins out a little bit, but they are very, very similar. And I find that very fascinating that you both kind of found that sweet spot of how many planes you can get on the fleet. Next up, we've got the Osprey by Sloams Inc. It's been a while since we have a Sloams ship. Let's check that out. Ooh, it's a crab carrier with rockets. It's got 4 A100s built into the hull and sprints, of which it's got guidance for 2. 6 sprints built into it. It's got 2 LA-29s in their own launch, 2 T-7s in their own launch bays, and 6 LA-29 strike craft. This could win the crab vote. Again, I love these designs. Sloams Inc.'s crab ships are so cool. Air crab carrier, indeed. Next up, we've got the Watchdog G from Silent Stack. You just get beaten to it, Kipp. I keep checking for Silent Stack's lore, but they only have lore for the Uslit. Let's check out the Watchdog G. Alright, what have we got here? 3 T7s and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 LA-29s, as well as 6 sprints, and of course, 1 Fab 1000 bomb. There's a scary merging of missile and carrier groups that can happen, many heavy missiles. I'll just have to deal with them all as everything. This also actually has 2 KH-15 missiles built into it as well. Top speed of 101 kilometers per hour. We have a fully elevated 37mm for anti-missile duties. I'm loving the weirdly upside down FCR here, just because. And yeah, that is the Watchdog G. And then finally, the last longbow is the Labyrinth by SWB. A Midway reference? I don't get the Midway reference if it is, but you can explain it to me. I don't have any lore for the Labyrinth, but it fits their Greek and Iliad themed naming conventions for all of their ships. The bomb. Do the Midway have a bomb? I'm not getting the reference. I'm sorry. I'm feeling very stupid. I don't know the Pacific Theater very well. I was just speaking the record. We've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 T7s on this ship. This is the new record. 11 T7s on this one. It also has an IRS Mars to try and find you, but the range of that's way less than the range of the planes. This is peak plane. I think they may have found the maximum amount of planes you can fit on here and have some other stuff like the MP404. But that is all of the longbows. I think voting between those is going to be very interesting because they're very similar. Now, there's 2 more vehicles I want to look at before we finish. We've got the Toyota A and the Toyota B from Sunny. These are interesting ships because they are not actually ships. They are ground-based anti-aircraft units. The Toyota A is an MLS ground defense vehicle to replace the other version of it. So let's check out the Toyota A. It's a technical. They'd be playing Floor Fleet derp, but it has the MRL instead of the missile launcher. These things usually have infinite zeniths, but they take forever. A 3,000-ton truck. A technical plus F-13 and S-13. This is pretty scary, guys, because these rockets will just come out of nowhere from the bottom of the ground. I don't think the wheels actually let the vehicles move. They are just stationary on the ground. But this is an option for what you could vote for if you wanted me to have this to face instead of the standard. What is this? This is the Grumble. There is also the Runner. They stop fall damage. Oh, interesting. There is the Runner as well. The Runner is the flak version. It has a 57mm Impel. Thank you for submitting these. Toyota Hilux MRL. 300 ton MRL. It's more like a Ford because it can't drive anywhere. I wonder what the Highfleet car brands are. Oh, they're probably all Ladas and stuff like that. All right. Low thrust, no fuel. Doesn't need it. Thank you all so much for joining me for this stream. We got through a chunk of ships today. We don't have that many left to go. Oh, your Nimrod and your Cormoran. Do I have those handy? I was about to end the stream because I am exhausted. Let's go see if I've got them hanging around here. Nimrod. I don't think I've got them here. I think we couldn't find them if I remember right. Yeah, they're not in my folders. I've got the Orca. I think I know what happened. Is the Orca the one you're missing? I can quickly do them just to clear that up. Let's clear these out. Yes, you did, didn't you? Hang on, I will do that. I don't want to lose them again. Why don't I see... Did you direct message me them, or did you just put them in the chat? That might be why I missed them, if they've been put in the chat. If you could you ping the message for me? And I'll just go through them really quickly now. And then we'll finish up the stream. Let me just quit out of Highfleet really quickly so I'm ready to go with this. I'll just clear this folder out. Oh, what's happening to your build fighter, Oda 894? I probably won't make it to endgame myself. I'm just trying to find this. Thank you so much, Sonny. I'm sorry that I missed them again. I feel really bad. Well, that's a cool ship, Neutron Sea. I'll check that out later. Right, I've got your ships. Let's get the Nimrod. Desktop. Highfleet ships. Save. And the Cormoran. Cool, let's have a quick look at these. I'm not gonna lie, my commentary might not be the best because I'm super tired, but I will give them a quick look. I'll just make sure you guys can see the stream once the game is back up and running. There you go, you should be able to see it now. And I just need to get my tabs sorted, because they're not sorted. Alright, let's have a quick look at these guys. Every 5-silo ballistic launch has to do was 4 outlying guys. It's going to be crazy. So we've got from you... I think I missed them because... Oh, the names have been totally cut off them. So, wait a minute, you ping me the names of them as well. I need to fix that. So the first one here is... Oh, the names aren't here. Can you let me know what the names are for them? Because the names have been cut off completely. I can fix that out of the game for later. So this is your Comrade build with... Wow, that's a lot of LA29s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's a scary amount of LA29s with the Comrade. Top speed of 218 kilometers per hour. Range of 26,600. Plain gun 2, electric blue glow. This is like a plain SMG, I think. It also has a KH-50 missile for firing straight downwards as well. We've got an FCR here. We've got 8 sprints in the tower here, which I really like. That's a lot of AMS on this ship, and we've also got the big radar too. This covers a lot of ground. That's really nice. Fuel tanks in here. Any AMS on this? Probably not able to fit it into the budget. No. Cool ship though. That's a lot of LA29s, and honestly, LA29s in groups are pretty nasty. And does it have a jammer? Oh, it does. Well spotted, Lynn. It does have a jammer as well. This is a pretty scary carrier on its own. This is a good build. Nice work. Let's have a look at this Nimrod. I love your big stumpy legs, by the way. Okay, we've got... Wow, look at the bridge. Look how well protected that bridge is. That bridge is not dying. I wonder if they are Strawman. I'm not sure if they will. It's a little Goomba. It's a little Goomba with an armored shell. I can't remember the names of them. We'll brainstorm some names in the Discord. 2 D80 Molots on the Nimrod is nice. 255 kilometers per hour for such a compact little ship is actually pretty fast. Range 974 kilometers, price of 2,300. I want to see how small this looks in combat with those legs retracted. Oh yeah, it's for a Nimrod. This is small. Small and pretty maneuverable. Yeah, look at it overtake those missiles. That's nice. This is nice. We'll make sure it's included in the Nimrod vote then. Thanks for making sure that I covered those. I've got the files for them now, so I'll add them into everything else. But back to what I was saying. I've been streaming for 2.5 hours at this point, or just about. It is very late with me. I'm really happy we got through so many ships. Hopefully, fingers crossed, the stream that I've got scheduled for 2 days' time. At the same time, we will finish everything off and we'll check out the Varyags. I'm going to try and just power through. And then we can get on with the rest of the voting and get this campaign started finally. Again, thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you all so much for submitting ships and commenting on ships and voting. I really appreciate it. Honestly, it has made this so much fun. There's so much cool chat going on in the Discord. If you weren't here for the start of the stream, there is a pinned Google Doc in the Kiva channel where Tarkin Renzus of the Corsairs has been writing some fluff, some lore on Highfleet based on Tarkans that you are submitting to them to the Google form, which is really, really cool. So check that out. I'm going to fire some stuff into it too. I hope you all have the best day, night, morning, everything. Again, thanks for hanging out. It's been so good. And I will see you all in the next video. But for now, catch you later. Ciao.